Yeah, so how you been?
Been good. Been good, Life. It is. So yeah.
How's the pup?
She is somewhere, but she's probably like sleeping on the couch right here. But she's been good. She's been having her pup moments. She's in her teenage phase right now. So it's like all the training just went out the window and she's like, I don't know my name. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
Yeah.
Just like some little reining in.
She's like a lot she looks bigger from what I saw. She looks definitely bigger.
Which is funny because I think but to be fair, I'm with her 24/7, so it's kind of hard to like gauge like, damn, you gotten big,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
How have you been?
At least
how's life been going with you?
It's going, I was just thinking last night. I was like, man, I need to get a new job. My fucking job is like, it's just like soul crushing. I feel like I can't do anything after like the end of the day. Like I just feel so like drained of like pretending to work almost. Like I'm just like not doing shit, but like fuck this. I don't want to do anything now, So I've done a lot of things because I work from home, and I try to like work out in the mornings, and then I'll work for a bit, and then maybe do some podcast stuff. If we have something to edit or whatever, we usually do. And that's been working out more recently, but usually I would just like get up and jump straight into work and then work out after, and then I'd just be like, I need to get away from doing any of this. And but the job itself has just been so like mind numbing, and just like, yes sir, I'll do whatever the fuck you want, and it's all trash anyways, and it's just like I'm not even proud of the work I'm doing, and I'm just like, all right, this is, and then like your feedback it's not acknowledged, so it doesn't even really feel like you're like an integral part of the team, even though you really are, because no one else is doing what you're doing and no one else can do what you're doing.
You know what I mean? I think corporate America, capitalism in general, bro, is a mistake. I feel like I'm supposed to just be making like, knitting shirts or something like that and selling it on the side of the road. Like, hey man, I'm the shirt man. I feel like we talked about this before, but like our job, this has been on Status Check before, hasn't it? Where we've talked about our jobs feeling pointless. Or is it just like
sound familiar?
Personal conversation we had?
Yeah, maybe we've just like talked about it through Discord, but I don't think we've actually like talked about it on here. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of corporate America is like pointless jobs. Mm-hmm. Not that it could be automated, but in like a fact that it feels superficial, that I'm not really, but I guess I'm so used to like blue collar labor jobs that have like a tangible, like I see the end result of that feels kind of weird to be like, yeah, I'm just pressing buttons on a spreadsheet and I get paid for it,
But yeah, I don't know. It's just been weighing me down a little bit. Last night I was really thinking about it. I was like, man, this is like, I don't like feeling so mentally exhausted but not doing anything. Like I'm just like, creating an image or working on a video or whatever I'm doing, and I don't even do it for 8 hours straight. Like I'm working for max like 4.5 hours, and it just, for some reason, like after, I'm just like, I don't want to fucking do anything. I don't want to work on a video. I don't want to, research anything. I just want to fucking play Division 2 or Diablo
and vibe out. My last position was a lot like that. Like I genuinely was like saving up to at a point where I was like, if I don't get this position that I just did this interview for, I'm gonna quit this company and I'll just figure it out, bro. Like I'll just go jobless. I'll work at a restaurant or something like that, bartender or something like that, until I get the money. Like I don't need
Yeah,
this.
you would.
Like,
You were ready.
yeah, I was like that, and I've never not had a job since I was 16. Like every time I've quit a job, I've always had like a 2 weeks notice, and after the 2 weeks, I started the next job. Like I never had like a break. So like I don't know, it just feels weird to like, or kind of scary, I guess is a better word, to try to take that plunge. Because I feel like even in my position now, I feel like I'm just comfortable because of the freedom that I have. Like you said, work from home, don't really do much all day, so I can work out, I can take a walk, I can go to the store, play games. You know what I mean? But it's not, like you said, fulfilling in terms of I could probably be making more and doing more, doing something else with another company. But do I want that?
Yeah.
Because it's like we're old now. We're old. We're unks. So like, I need healthcare, bro.
Yeah.
I need a dental plan. I need vision, bro. I gotta pay rent, bro. I can't just dip.
Yeah, that's the big question now, where it's like this job is so comfortable. I think the sad thing and the more annoying thing to me is that like I remember like just fucking praying that I would get this job when I first applied for it for my previous job, because I hated that job so much. I'm like, maybe there's something wrong with me, but because now I'm like, I fucking hate this job. But like literally these people like are so, they don't respect you like in a way that I've never seen people like talk to you. Like they'll just say shit about like, oh well maybe you need like, I remember I got into an argument on accident with one of the lead engineer, basically like the director of R&D, the director of engineering, dude, like spoke to me like a fucking peasant. I was like, what the fuck? People can talk to you like this? And it was over email, so yeah, I'm sure like face to face it would have maybe been different, but over email I was like, I've never seen somebody like in a leadership role speak to somebody underneath them this way. And then the other leaders, like no one ever like said anything or like, yeah, exactly, said like, hey man, that was not called for, like that was. And then our HR person also just always has attitude when like I fucking ask her basic questions, you know.
Sounds like a very toxic work environment in general.
Oh, it is. It's insane, and it's built up over time. As I've like described it to, you know, Elise a couple times, and I'm just like, yeah, this place is actually like really toxic for it being like not a giant corporation. It's like only like 30 niggas like working, you know, and they're all spread across like, you know, we have like 4 in China and like, you know, 6 or 7 in Germany and you know 4 in India, and then we have most of the rest of the staff are in America. But I'm just like,
it sounds like it's grounds for implosion. It sounds like you need to pull the parachute before you get caught in a fire, you know, type of situation. Yeah. This most recent like little like interaction with my boss definitely had me going like, you'll spruce up the resume.
For some, yeah, I think I need to start looking for something else. The problem is that it pays well enough that I'm very comfortable, and yeah, I don't fucking do a lot. So it's just like I have to like. Do
I deal with the bullshit and continue to have the luxury of not doing shit, right. Or
yes, or like push further? Get a real job where they're asking you to do like a full 8 hours or expect all this shit. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
Let me ask you this: what is your dream job?
Dude, I don't even know anymore. I'll be honest with you. My dream job for a minute. Well, my dream was to be like a film director, right? To do something with video creation. You know, not a content creator, but like, you know, an actual, yeah. Whether it's like a video editor or, you know, film director, probably not producer, but, you know, just something in that creative realm. That would be my dream. But now I'm like, I feel like the trajectory I'm on with my skills and my job, I'm like, fuck. I mean, I have skills for editing and stuff, but I don't know. But that would be my ideal like dream job. Anything else is just like I just need to get the
I need to get a check.
Yeah, I need to pay rent. I need health insurance. I need all that stuff. So,
see, I was thinking as a kid, I always wanted to be like either like a game developer or like a games journalist. But
so something in games.
Yeah, just something involving gaming in general. Even as a kid, whether it was art, whether it was animation, whether it was viewing it, whatever, anything, I wanted to just do something with it. And for a minute after that, you know, the demoralizing telling a kid, you know, oh, you can't be there's no money in that. You want to be something else, you know.
Or the competition.
Yeah. So after that, I wanted to be a veterinarian because I love animals. That was my next passion. But then I forgot you got to watch animals die all day. And it's not really fun.
And be in pain.
Yeah. And I was like, that would hurt me, crush me. I don't want to do that. I think the concept of a dream job, that's why I asked you that, is a myth.
What is the concept of a dream job?
Because that's what I'm saying. Like the concept of a dream job means that the concept of a dream job means that you want to do something. But when you're doing but like, you know how everybody says like, oh, if it's something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Like, no, nigga, if I was still making games, I would still feel shitty days and be like, man, I fucking hate my job working at X and X company. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it all depends. It's like the only way anything could be because I wouldn't even say being your own boss or being anything of the sorts like that would alleviate that, because that has its own slew of problems with, you know, W-2s and employees and hiring and all that other stuff that you have to deal with that you don't think about because you're just in your one position. But like, working a job isn't a dream for me, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, if I had the money to live comfortably and not have to work another day of my life, I would be happy. That's my dream. Over like, oh, I would love to be a computer analyst or some bullshit, you know? Like, no, I don't want to be I don't, like, you know.
Yeah. I think it just depends on the person. I think there are some people that just like love to work and do whatever job, and a dream job maybe might be like a fucking HR director or fucking engineer.
I get it though.
There are some people that just have more, what do you call it? Without, like, for lack of a better term, like some people are just more grounded in their like dreams. Like they don't have like lofty ambitions. I've noticed that because I've always had like big dreams to be, you know, a film director or even like a music producer, right? When I was making a lot of music. But other people would just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a registered nurse. I was like, what? It's like that's your end all, like that's it. And it's like that's fucking perfectly, that's perfectly fine, because that's a stable job that's in demand. And I'm just like, but I've never just wanted a job just because it was in demand. Like that's not my mentality, you know? Like, what do you, like, that's it, just like a registered nurse? And like, well, you know, like I help people and all this. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's my job right now. My job is like, everybody in my job except for me is like 20 years, and they were like, you know, they worked as pharmacists and they worked under this program and they did all this stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, I just solved the issue you guys have with your computers and that, I mean, with your algorithms, and that allowed me to get this position. And I think that's like, I don't know, bro. I just think like, damn, bro, you're in my position, but like, you're 50. Like, you're about to go, bro. Like, this was it for you, bro, for 30 years? This? But you had to go in the office back in the day? I don't know, bro. Type shit. I don't know. I just think, I mean, because there's passions, like you said, like for a minute, I really thought genuinely like, okay, I can like for a while I was like, okay, I can pivot from making music into DJing and doing open mics and doing all this stuff, and I thought that was a tangible revenue stream, but I realized I was pumping more money into actually completing a job than I was making from the jobs. That I was like, I don't know.
It's tricky. It's the same with like, you know, I have like the side hustle of my video production company. And that's probably overstating it. It's really just, you know, like I have some business cards and, you know, I have like 2 clients that, you know, need things annually and I work with them, but like, yeah, I don't want to do weddings. I don't want to fucking do events.
I definitely don't want to do weddings, bro. After DJing a wedding, bro, I was like, never again, bro. That shit was insane.
Like I don't, and it makes money, and I think that's the thing. It's like you have to find skills, especially because like you didn't go to school, right? I can't remember if you went to school or anything.
I went to class for exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah, like we both didn't go to school for anything, so like. Right now, I'm sort of like carving. I'm lucky that I've gotten as far as I have, but I feel like I've just not seen any of the fruits of that labor because, for one, I was in the tech space. I was doing, you know, I was a technical assistant, basically, you know, helping out in the office with, you know, updating everybody's computers, you know, helping with any issues that they're having, you know, checking inventory, making sure their equipment's work, upgrading equipment, just troubleshooting if anything, you know, went wrong. I was sort of getting into like the server side of stuff. But I was like, I don't really want this, you know? And I think Back of the Rack was actually the thing that got me that helped me get this job as a social media, or as a digital marketer, you know, basically.
Yeah, so we definitely cut this entire section out.
Yeah. It basically helped because I used a lot of the videos that I was making on the side and also this videos and like my YouTube video, you know, to sell myself. And it got me the job that I'm at now. And now I'm like in the social marketing space, you know, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. This is not what I want, you know, but it's like I'm closer to the video aspect of things than I was before. But I'm like sort of clunkily making my way there.
Yeah.
Because now my next job is like, what did you do in your last job? It's like, oh, you did, you know, marketing stuff. You know, you did emails and, you know, social posts and videos, you know. So now most people are going to be like, oh, you should do like a social media. You should go for another digital marketing, social media type job. And I'm like, no, I want to fucking get it. I don't want to be in this space. I don't like it at all. We don't even do enough social media stuff, let alone trying to do and work out something for like a fucking company that's global.
Right. And I feel like social media in general, in terms of like marketing and all that stuff, I feel like that's going to implode one of these days. And yeah, it's easier if you were like, for example, you worked for like a sports team or something, like a local sports team, and was like, hey, I do the events or whatever. I create the logos for the t-shirts or whatever, so that they blump them out or whatever and sell them in the team store or something sorts like that. Like, I think if there was like a culture behind like the social media marketing, like if I was doing it for a cause, like if I worked for like the Hawks or something of the sorts like that, yeah. I feel like I would be more inclined to be like, oh, this is cool because I'm with the Hawks. I can move up into, because like I think of like people like Eric Spoelstra, but to be fair, Eric Spoelstra also had like connections and stuff like that. But he started off as like a video coordinator for like the Jumbotron, and now he's like the head coach of the Heat. So it's like okay. You can pivot if you're like, I don't actually fuck with being the dance team social media manager, but Nah, I just do the,
I kind of get that, and I think more recently too, I've been really thinking about my film dreams of like wanting to be in that space, and I look at like where film is at, just in general, like with movies and how they're sort of changing, and what people are expecting from them, and how people are consuming them and stuff. It's not like movies were different back in 2001 when I like decided that I wanted to, that's what I wanted to do. I think now I'm like, I've been thinking a lot about like, one, do I have what it takes to be in that space with its changing or its shrinking or its level of like, compromise. I mean, it's hard to like, it's kind of confusing like what's happening in that space with it being like, revolutionized in some way because of streaming and also because of lack of people going to theaters and all that. So I don't know where movies are going to be in 10 years. Like, are theaters going to be closed down? That's like the whole.
Yeah. You can be a Tubi producer. You can just be making a bunch of Tubi movies.
Which, I mean,
hey, it's on Tubi.
And I think about it. Yeah, and then I think about it too. I'm like, I could just make a short film, and then I would have accomplished my dream of being a film director. And I could say like I directed a film right there, a short film. I could do it. But I think mainly, there's like so many hurdles. Is like, I don't know enough people. I don't know anybody in the industry. I live in a town that's not exactly the most connected to like that scene, and I've just become more antisocial as I've gotten older. And I'm like, I don't fucking want to go out and talk to anybody. I don't want to meet new people. I don't want to build relationships. And so I'm just like, fuck, And then I'm, was thinking of like, okay, well, what is an alternative? And I don't know. I've been thinking about like game development. I'm like, I'm so much more involved with games than I am with movies these days in some sense, where like we make content revolving around games. I play, just like hours spent on video games, whether it's playing them or talking about them, is way higher, and I'm like, okay, well, video games are becoming a huge thing. There's one-man teams of video games.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm just like, hold up, maybe I could just be
people.
Yeah, I'm just like, maybe I just become a video game director, an art director, sound director or something with video games, be a part of another team. I don't know. It sounds cool, like, to me, but also there is a huge saturation of video games as well. Where I'm like, that doesn't even sound like it's a great industry.
And I would be extremely mad if I get with a company, for example. I think the closest company to me now from where I live, before it was Bethesda. And I did try to get with Bethesda to be a QA tester, but they didn't. Yeah. I didn't get past the second phase. I was young. I was like 18. But I think the closest now is Epic Games, and everybody wants to work at Epic Games. So like, that's never Fortnite. Yeah. So it's like, I feel you, and I would be mad if I finally got a job in the industry, working at a company, and it's a game that's derivative. And I think that's the only thing.
It's a game that you hate.
That's the only thing that holds me back from like actually making a game, where it's like I have a lot of ideas for games, but they're not original. And I think my issue is that I like scroll through the Steam discovery queue every single day. That's like my morning ritual. I drink my coffee, I let CNN play in the background, and I do the discovery queue. And there's a lot of trash in the that drops on Steam every day. Like, there's a simulator, like, just name a business simulator. There's insert card, Slay the Spire ass card game, Vampire Survivors card game, like whatever the fuck game. There's a roguelike. There's a million of those. Or you could have like whatever is hot at the time, somebody's gonna make a clone of that and just drop it. Like, how many lethal like even Repo is a Lethal Company clone. Everything is a clone of another game when it comes to Steam and the indie scene. And I don't know. I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like, how do you one make something unique enough in the indie space to stand out and make people go like, oh, I want to play that. And then also, how do you? I don't know, bro. Game development's hard, bro. That's why we just talk about games, not make games. I don't know.
Well, something I know is that definitely there's not, especially in this state of like culture, in this state of the world now, like there's nothing original. You know, there's things that are like piecemealed or like hybrids or blends or fusions of all these other ideas and things, but it's pretty rare that anything is wholly original. And when it is original, that original thing doesn't become the popular thing. The thing after it, like the iterative thing, becomes the popular thing. You know, so I don't feel like there's any. I mean, even like with music, movies, there's a bunch of original stuff, but it's just like people.
Care.
It's hard to. I mean, people like familiarity for one, but also sometimes the original stuff just isn't quite there, you know.
And there is like a tax, I guess, for the viewer to come to grips with watching something original over watching Star Wars Bob over a Death Parade or a Severance or something of the sorts like that. Like if it isn't being talked about in a super highlight, like everybody's like, oh, this is the greatest thing known to man. Like Sinners is going to get another push just because of all of the perception that's been given to it on social media and everything like that.
Yeah.
At the time. Yes. Like if I'm about to go, I wasn't really about to go see it. I was just going to stream it, but now I'm going to go see it in 70 millimeter. I'm going to try to find me somebody that's playing it. But
yeah,
you know, it is hard. And I noticed that a lot too, especially with like making music back in the day, that like doing all these open mics and traveling up and down the East Coast to perform and do all this stuff and DJ for people really do like just making the same shit, bro. Like I'm gonna sound like this insert rapper and I'm gonna just copy their whole swag, song, flow, type beat, and I'm gonna just try to make it. And it's like, I don't know, that shit has never really meshed with me.
My most popular music was the music that was copying other stuff. All like my most original pieces of music, or like my original beats, no one liked them, or no one like really said anything about them. But the minute I was, you know, copying, you know, like the current trends in hip hop or city pop, that's when my music, you know, ability or whatever took off, because it was like, oh, well, this is familiar and we know what this is, and you know, I mean, even Sinners isn't original. I mean, it's the only original thing about it is that, well, no, there's nothing original about it. It just happens to be like
it just happens to have Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, and just
like it's
be directed better.
If you've seen enough movies, it just feels like three movies put together, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But it's just, you can't say that movie's original. It's just not based off a IP or anything, or like a you know, previous thing. But it's still based off
something like, you know,
vampire
17.
Lore.
It's based on a book.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just, I mean, that's kind of a good segue into some of the more recent movies that I've seen, because Sinners has definitely taken the world by storm in some sense. So I was never interested in Sinners, mainly because when I was first told about it before the trailers dropped, I read an article that was saying it was like, you know, a black vampire movie, and I was like, well, first off, I'm not interested in vampires. And then a black vampire movie is like, just
I'm not interested
in blacks. No, and then secondly, you know, a black vampire movie, I'm like, that's just Blade. But,
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fine. And then the movie trailer came out. I'm like, it looks like it's shot like really, like beautifully. But unfortunately, a movie is more than how it's shot. And then Elise really wanted to watch it, and I was like, all right, let's go. So we went to opening night, and yeah, I was just not impressed. I just didn't. I feel like the more I think about it, I think it bothers. I think I'm a bit more harsh on it because I saw that it has like a 98%, and that annoys me. Because
I feel you.
The movie, I'm like, I'm sorry, this movie is like a 70%. Like, it's a solid movie. Like, I wouldn't say it's a terrible movie by any stretch of the imagination.
It's
but
just
we're
not
acting
like,
as
wow. Like,
yeah, like there's so many it has a lot of shortcomings, and I think it also, yeah, it's just not. I don't even think it's Ryan Coogler's best film. Like, actually, when I was watching this, it kind of made me think. I'm like, wait, maybe Ryan Coogler isn't that great of a director, or maybe he's just not. Yeah. So you have Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I'm missing another one.
Space Jam,
Sinners,
Judas.
Did he wait? He directed Space Jam too?
Yeah, he directed Space Jam 2 and Judas and the Black Messiah. Did not like Judas and the Black Messiah. I did not like that movie. I didn't really I don't like Creed at all either. Like, I don't really like the Creed trilogy.
That's what I'm saying. Creed is like, I think, his best film, but I don't think it's not like I love the film.
I actually think Fruitvale Station might be his best film.
Fruitvale Station was solid.
I think
it was a solid directorial.
Directorial
it was solid. I liked it.
Yeah, I think that might be his best movie, because now I look at the rest of his movies, it does kind of become like Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. I didn't really like either of those movies. Like, as much as everybody else liked them, I thought that they could have did Black Panther a lot better. Like, even Namor with the second movie, I was like, just recast him, bro. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Wakanda Forever had some cool action sequences, but yeah, there's some choices that he makes consistently. And it's kind of like Jordan Peele, where I'm like, I feel like we're overlooking some like glaring like they have weird dialogue sometimes that doesn't make sense or doesn't like flow naturally sometimes. And I feel like Ryan Coogler specifically has a lack of, I think he has a lack of like staging. Like, he's not good at doing like dramatic moments. And what I mean by that is, like, there's a character in the movie. This is spoilers. I'll try to keep it vague for you so that you can. Yeah, it's not like a huge thing, because it's played up in the movie that it might be, but then it happens and you're just like, that was kind of not done well. There's a character in the movie, and actually, maybe I shouldn't talk about it, because if you don't want to be spoiled at all. But there's just moments where I'm like, you're not building moments up for them to be like this, like, moment that we're supposed to care about, and then when the moment comes, you're like cutting to it and cutting away, and it's supposed, like, are we supposed, like, it's kind of confusing on how we're supposed to feel about certain moments, and it feels like a lack of cohesion or a lack of direction. Although there's one really cool scene, and I don't know when you're gonna see it, but I would love to talk about it with you, because I feel like it's a great music video concept.
I know exactly the scene you're talking about. I've heard people talk about like this music scene. They've been very vague about this music scene, and I honestly low-key want to watch the movie only because it has Cook in it from Skins.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but okay.
The white dude. That's very vague. I'm sorry. I guess he's the main antagonist or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. He was with Daniel Kaluuya. Yeah, all of them. They all are from Skins, and anytime there's somebody from Skins or Misfits in a show or movie, I'm like, all right, yeah, I gotta watch it. That's why I watch Game of Thrones, is because the dude from Misfits was in Game of Thrones. I think.
Yeah, but.
Because now that you mentioned Jordan Peele, I looked up Jordan Peele's filmography, and I do agree. Like, I can see what you mean, and I know exactly what you're saying. Where it's like there's a pretext that's trying to be told. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Like there's I'm sorry, subtext. That's what I meant to say. Like there's a subtext that's trying to be conveyed, and it's trying too hard to convey that subtext to where it kind of loses the original like message that it's trying to tell.
Yeah.
Because I felt that way with Nope a lot, where I was like, I get it with the monkey, but like there was a better way to explain it than with a fucking monkey. You know what I mean? The existential horror of an alien creature alone is enough. Like,
yeah, that sort of happens with, and it's an original idea, and you know, it feels, again, Nope is fun in some way, but the problem is just like the praise that the movies get that really bothers me.
Shout out to Nora.
Yeah. Where I'm like, guys,
it's not that good.
Like, I don't. Yeah, like it's not like, let's just relax, you know.
Best screenplay? I don't know about that.
Yeah, and Sinners is definitely one movie where I think the dialogue falls a little short for me. There's some funny moments, you know, for sure. But I think that some of the characters, the pacing, I'm just like, I don't. And then I knew at some point, I'm like, okay, this is just not for me because it's a vampire movie. But yeah, then I'm like, guys, why are we treating this like it's fucking, I don't know, I can't even remember like the last movie that I guess everybody agreed was amazing. But
I mean, a lot of people are I don't want to say sheep, but I think doing Back of the Rack has opened me up more to critiquing art as in a general concept. Because before it was kind of like, if I didn't fuck with it, it was like, that's ass. Anyway, keep moving. And if it was good, I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh, this shit is amazing. Oh, wow. But I never really thought critically as to why I liked something or as to why that was of interest to me. And doing Back of the Rack and having to actually articulate my thoughts on everything and being like, why I like this. Like, even like the Wet episode that we just did. I'm still very high on Wet. Like, I still love that game a lot. Like, it's still like low-key honorable mention for like Back of the Rack of the year for me, even though how much I talk shit about that game during that episode. It's a great game, but I have to look at it critically, especially when we're talking like this, because I'm like, yeah, it's good, but I can't just turn my brain off and be like, oh, dumb, that was good. Like, and I think about that a lot when it comes to people, that some people just go on Twitter and go, oh, everybody's talking about Severance, so Severance must be really good, and not think that like, oh, Severance isn't for me, or like, because I think this way with like Breaking Bad. Everybody told me Breaking Bad was like the greatest, one of the top shows of all time. It's like it's like Breaking Bad, Sopranos, The Wire, Game of Thrones. Like it's up there in the upper echelon of God tier television. And I hated most of Breaking Bad. I do. It has some very high highs, but I did not like that show. I don't like the way that it's directed. I don't like the weird scenes that they would have like in the beginning where it's just like of music. I thought that really shifted the tone a lot of the show. I didn't really like the characters and the way that they were written, especially Walt Jr. I thought he was a little bit I don't want to say out of pocket, but like the way that he was I'm trying to be as spoiler free as possible, but like Breaking Bad didn't fit the expectations that everybody brought onto it. Same for example with Handmaid's Tales. My wife is over a friend's house right now to watch Handmaid's Tale. They're watching it as a little girls group, and I watched the first season and I didn't like it, and she's like, you have to watch it, you have to, this is the final season, it's so good. And I'm like, I don't think it's good. Not in like a sense that I don't get it or anything like that. I just, certain things just don't click. Like, and I think some people just don't think that way. They just think that like, oh, everybody says this game is good, or oh, everybody says this album is good, and not understanding or actually taking it for granted.
Yeah. And it is, I think, something separating like your preferences from the objectivity of the objectivity of if something is actually like a great piece of art or a great piece of media. That's also like a skill that's not always like taught or used by people, because Sinners has some impressive aspects to it. And I know my preferences also and like prevent me from enjoying it to its fullest, because one, I'm not a huge fan of like racial revenge movies. I'm not a huge fan of vampire movies, you know, and this just feels like all of that, you know. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this movie kind of reminds me of Django Unchained, but less fun. But anyways,
Hold on, because you might have just sold the movie more for me.
It's basically Django Unchained, but like without
Not
all like the
funny.
cheeky fun. Yeah.
Django Unchained, but taken dead seriously. That is an interesting take. I'm actually curious. I'm going to see it Friday. Hopefully, that's
Okay.
So I'll probably catch it early morning when nobody's in the theater, just so I get a straight vibe.
Yeah. It's funny because me and Elise were talking about how we would probably enjoy the movie more if it was just the first act of the movie. And you'll see what I'm talking about. But so before I saw Sinners, I saw a movie called Warfare. Now, if you were only going to go see one movie this month, I would say to watch Warfare in theaters, because that is a fucking crazy ass theater going experience. Just a very, very intense movie. Like, it is, you're dropped into the Iraq War, 2004, I think, 2003. I can't remember the actual date that it takes place, and it's all based on the memories of these Marines. And it has like, there's like no score to it, but like the sound design of the entire, just every scene is just like it's just so rich as far as like texture goes with sound. Like, you could feel every bullet, and you're like scared of when they're gonna fire a bullet. Like, there's so many, like, it's just like a day in the life. It's not like a war movie. It's like a just war vignette. Like, oh, here's something that happened. And
is
it's
it like
so
End of the Watch, but like Iraq?
It has that. It's sort of the same like day of the life, but End of the Watch is more of like first person view, where this is more of like
this is like
yeah, like third, like, yeah, like more of a, you know, it's not from the perspective of one person specifically. But it's so good, and it's very scary, and it's very intense. Like, I was sweating my ass off because I was just like, fuck, this is so intense right now. Like,
that's kind of like how the end of Hacksaw Ridge was. I saw that in theaters. And the end of Hacksaw Ridge, I was like, oh shit. Like, it just kind of like switched the whole vibe. I was like, oh, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's very, very intense. I would definitely suggest you to see that. And I was telling the Discord that maybe my feelings on Sinners was so mixed, because I just saw a movie that did tension right, and they like really used a lot of like cinematic tools to like really pull you in. And it was like minimal dialogue. It's a very realistic portrayal, I think, of what a soldier has to go through and how they communicate, and you know, but it's not very. It's just good.
I just realized this is director of the Civil War movie as well too, and Ex Machina.
Yeah.
So I'm actually that makes me very excited, because I really enjoyed Civil War and the angle that it took. Because you would think from the trailers that it's talking about like the actual concept of a second Civil War, but it's really talking about like the journalist perspective of it all. And I thought that was a really interesting concept. So I'll check it out. That might be what I watch Friday instead of Sinners, or maybe like a double feature. I'm not doing nothing at all. Right? So
Sinners is, Warfare is a short movie. It's a tight 90 minutes, and you're gonna walk out of there like, fuck me. Like, it is a fucking ride. But yeah, anybody listening, definitely check out Warfare. It's probably one of the best of the year. But it's and then yeah, as far as like really good movies, I also did a Lord of the Rings marathon the other day.
Shout out.
Last week, I think. And in those movies, we watched the extended edition, so it was basically like 11 hours of movies. I was like, damn, this is wild. This is a long time.
Yeah, you knocked it all in one sitting. That's
yeah. I found some appreciation for the first one because I mean I hadn't seen all three movies in at least 10 years. And yeah, the first movie I was like, I think this might be the best one, like structurally in terms of like where it starts and where it ends. But yeah, obviously Return of the King has all the payoff. Yeah, I mean they're just great movies. It's just like, and it was hard to judge them because they were the extended editions. You know,
I think the extended editions are like the definitive way to watch those movies. Because even when I did that binge, I think a year or two ago, with all of my roommates at the time, I was because everybody in my house did not watch Lord of the Rings except for me, and I was like, nah. Wow. We're watching the extended edition. Yeah. Sit your ass down. They're like 4 hours. I'm like, I don't care, bro.
Did you watch them back to back? Like,
no, we didn't watch them back to back. We did watch them like day by day. So it was like a weekend and we watched all three of them. But yeah, they're incredible movies, man. Peter Jackson is a menace for what he has done. But I do agree with you that Fellowship of the Ring is the strongest because it's structured in a way that once it ends, you're okay. You're like, okay, like if you don't watch any other Lord of the Rings, you're like, I'm good with this. That was a fun story. Whereas the other two, especially the second one, feels like it's just a build up to the third movie, and it doesn't feel as fun to watch. Taken out of a binge situation.
Yeah, and there are like great moments for sure, but yeah, you start to feel that there's no, it has the least momentum, I would say, but I mean, like they try with like certain little moments and stuff to like kind of get the gears going, but you know it's like, okay, well, Helm's Deep is coming, yeah, but that's not like like we want to see Frodo, not right. Helm's Deep is just like a side quest. It's really like a side mission when you put it in the context of everything. I'm like, this is kind of just like a side mission. That's kind of why it feels like it's a whole different thing. I mean, like, yeah, they're all still like really great movies. And I was actually saying to one of my friends that Howard Shore, the composer, I'm like, that score is so iconic in a way that like we don't really see anymore. And the same, I mean, like John Williams has like, you know, Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Superman and all that. But Lord of the Rings, the soundtrack for that is so like perfect in a way that is like surreal. It's like you can't even separate those two sounds because it's like they go together.
It's like when you hear it, it's like this is exactly what I heard when I was reading the book and then picturing it in my head. Like this is the exact sound I would hear if I was in the Shire.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like just like this is a incredible feat, and then for him to not really like, you know, create any more music in that like with that same gravitas is kind of crazy. But yeah, I mean, shout out to that soundtrack. It is insane. And I don't know. We were gonna watch the Hobbit movies next, but I was like, let's just take a little break because the Hobbit movies are a whole separate can of worms.
I still haven't shown her the Hobbit movies. She's watched the Rings of Power. She's watched the animated movies. She is locked in.
She did
Lord of the Rings now. Like I just got her the original book and all that stuff, and she's like, "Oh, I'm locked in on like Lord of the Rings stuff now." And I'm like, hold on The Hobbit though. We're not gonna watch those movies because she really wanted to watch them, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't think you want to see that. I watched that one first day in theaters, bro, with that 90 frames per second or what was it?
Oh yeah, the high frame rate one.
Yeah, I was like, it almost gave me vertigo watching it in the movie theaters. I was like, I'm not used to this when it comes to movies. I don't like this at all.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember liking the first Hobbit movie and even Desolation of Smog. It's because I'm an effects whore, kind of like I like the effects in the movies, and I like, like Peter Jackson has always been very forward with his use of like CG and stuff like that. And I thought some of the effects were like really fun, like the trolls and then the goblins and then Smaug obviously in the second one. But yeah, it goes a little too far at one point, and I was like, this just looks so shiny and like video gamey at some points. And then obviously it doesn't help that the characters aren't like, I don't fuck with any of them, so the story drags.
I mean, that's kind of the point. You're only supposed to fuck with Bilbo, bro.
Yeah. And Bilbo is the best, thankfully, because Martin Freeman just does such a great job with him. But yeah, I mean, that's all I want to say for movies. I mean, I've been trying to get Elise to watch the Evangelion Rebuild movies, and then we're gonna do like Attack on Titan, because I still haven't finished that.
I'm still in my One Piece mode, bro. She's in Dressrosa now.
Oh, okay.
We're pushing through, bro. I'm like,
yeah, that's
anytime
crazy.
She's like, you want to watch a movie or something? I'm like, no, One Piece. Yeah. Go back into One Piece.
I want to get Elise into Naruto, but that's something we have to binge as well, because she doesn't like doing like here's just 2 episodes for today, and like we'll do one maybe tomorrow, because it's so slow.
Yeah.
The pacing of those shows is rough. Like when you're not like super like into it, you're just like, that's right, he repeats this line. It's not as bad as Dragon Ball Z, but like it's a bit rough.
No, there was a moment, because I have her watching One Piece right now instead of One Piece. And for a moment, I think like Skypiea or one of the arcs wasn't done when she got to like a certain point, and she was like, the arc just ends. And I was like, no. And she had to watch like the original, and I think it was like 40 more episodes, and I could feel the burnout coming, whereas she was like, I don't know, man, this is because I be watching some animes at like 1.25 speed, but she was watching it at like 1.2 1.5 at times. I was like, oh yeah, we got to get you back on track. I was like, once you finish Skypiea, we got to get you back on track, because this is not going to work. But she did say she wanted to binge Naruto after this. We already binged the first season, but that was so long ago when we like first started dating that like she doesn't remember anything. She doesn't even remember that Sasuke left. So I was like, oh, let me. Oh, my fault. Sorry, spoilers. Let's go back. It's my fault.
Yeah, I really just want to show her like the original series. I don't really care too much about Shippuden, because Shippuden also gets pretty bad with its lore, and I just think the original Naruto series is like such a great series, and there's a lot of
filler.
Cool arcs. Yeah, some of the filler is funny too. Like it's actually entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Shippuden has some really great like scenes and action, and like, spoilers when Jiraiya dies, with Pain. Like the whole Pain arc is great. And then but they start introducing, I think once the world gets bigger,
I feel like it's the war, bro. The war is too much.
Yeah. A bunch of ninjas fighting in a war? All ninjas? Like it just I don't know.
There's cool scenes in the war, but the fact that the war is just as long as, I think the war is just as long as the first part and the second part up to the war. Like I think that's how long the war arc is. So it's like for majority of Naruto, you're watching this war, and it's like, I get it, because it's like, this is it. This is endgame. But it's like, god damn, bro. Like, do I need to see Neji using Byakugan to see Zetsu clones, bro? Like, I don't care, bro. Like, I think
it struggles to handle all the characters and all that, but
I just want to show her up to Sasuke versus Itachi. After that, if she wants to bail out, I'll give her free reign to bail out. I just wanted to get to that part, because I want to rewatch that part, honestly.
Yes, that's during the Pain arc, right?
Yeah, I think Jiraiya versus Pain, and then Sasuke versus, it was either one or the other. I think it was Jiraiya, Pain, and then Sasuke, Itachi, like right after that, and then because they were happening at the same time.
Yeah, I would probably get her to that point. But I had to convince her that she'll enjoy it. You know, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because we did start watching like early Shippuden, and she was like, "Oh my god, Gara, no!" But then like Gara retrieval part, she was like,
yeah,
all right, I'm zoning out.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny how like women in anime, I feel like they just have less tolerance. I don't know what it is.
But see, here's the thing.
Is it just me?
She locked in on Death Parade because I binged like 8 episodes.
Well, Death Parade's only like 12 episodes.
Yeah,
and it's like it. What?
Sorry, hold on. Snoring. Oh, I'm sorry. My dog was snoring. I thought she was choking or something. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is only 12 episodes. But I mean, I binged like 8 of those episodes and like all last night. I was just so locked in on that show. I was like, I can't stop watching this. It's like
Death Parade is amazing.
I cried at the end.
I own Death. What happens at the end?
With like finding out her backstory and then like him doing the whole thing to see if she would like what she would choose if given the choice of
yeah,
all that was like it just hit. I was like,
it's
damn.
like I feel like as you get older too, the more I've seen the show, I think I've only seen it like 2 or 3 times, but you know, I've watched at different stages of my life, and some of those stories hit a little bit harder when you kind of like go through some of the like feelings or know people who have like felt certain ways. You're like, ooh, this is actually hitting a little too close.
Exactly.
Like, ooh,
because I watched it when it first came out, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. You know, didn't really care.
Yeah, because you're a kid.
Yeah,
you just don't even really fucking
But then like watching it now, I was like, whoa, hold on, this is a little too deep for me. I don't.
Yeah.
I think
especially like the first episode.
Yeah, the first episode
was.
Because the 4th episode was, I forgot what the 4th episode was. I think that was the couple, like the dude that like, yeah, when they played the arcade game. That was the 4th episode. And I was like, I think that was like the first tier where I was like, damn, this is kind of crazy. I cry a lot now when it comes to like movies and TV and stuff like that. I be shedding tears, bro, and I hate it, bro. Like I never was a crier, bro, but now I be crying, bro.
Yeah, no, same. I cry a bunch, and I don't mind it. I find it so cathartic.
Yeah,
when I can like watch something, and that's actually why I've always loved movies so much, is because they make me cry. You know, like I don't know. I've always felt like it was so. I always had trouble crying, and I feel like movies are just like let me surrender myself and just like bawl. You know, like the movie I like, 1917, the World War II movie, or World War movie. Yes. That shit made me just like, I don't know. It wasn't even like sad in a particular way, but I think like there's like this triumph. Yeah, there's like a moment that I'm like, damn, like this soldier really is going out of his way to do all this, and like the music's swelling. And I'm like, this is beautiful. This is amazing.
That's how I felt watching To Your Eternity. I think I cried like to multiple episodes of To Your Eternity. I think even the first episode. That's why I knew I was like, I got to finish this whole series. The very first episode made me cry. And I was like, this is
what is To Your Eternity?
So To Your Eternity is
anime?
Yeah, it's an anime. It's got 2 seasons. A 3rd season is about to come out. But it's about God essentially sends this orb out, and it takes the form of anything it touches. So it starts out and it touches a rock, and then it becomes a rock, and then it goes through like moss and all that stuff, and then a dog dies on it, and then it becomes the dog. But like, it's just, and then you know it finds its owner and all that stuff. So it's like a journey about this like orb that becomes a human eventually, and them trying to understand humanity and what goes on along with it, and like experiencing stuff, and like it gets deep, bro. It gets,
check it out. Yeah.
It's obvious anime bullshit, you know, with like attacks and blase blah. You know, of course it's gotta get anime, but like from like a metaphor sense and like everything that goes along with it, and like just the character writing is so superb in that show that I was like even like rewatching the first episode with her, because I was telling her after Death Parade, I was like, because she was like, why are you crying? Like, it's not that crazy. I was like, no, you don't understand. And
Yeah.
I showed her the first episode of To Your Eternity, and once again, started bubbling up.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah, so check it out.
It looks interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of it, but that doesn't mean that I won't check it out. 2021, yeah. I do want to watch more anime.
Me too.
I will say.
Me too.
I just want to be like selective. I mean, I did start Dan, like I said last podcast, and it's starting up again in June, I think. But Dan was also one that was so overhyped. I watched it, and I'm like, have you niggas not seen anime? None of this is new. Like, this feels like just 3 different animes together, and none of it's like particularly original. Like,
niggas see fancy lighting and animation. They just see Sakuga and go, oh, man, this anime is like, amazing. It's like,
yeah, I'm just like, this is just Mob Psycho plus fuck, I made a comparison the last time and I can't even remember what else it was, but yeah, I'm just like, this is just 2 or 3 different animes put together, and they're not like really doing much with it, you know. But it's entertaining. It's just not like people were hyping it up like crazy again, you know.
I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to watch Gundam, bro. I'm trying to watch some old shit. I'm trying to watch.
Hey, there's this one. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, Neb and.
Are you talking about the new one?
Community. No. There's this one anime. It's not Gundam. It's came out last year, I think, and it's about like. I think it's about like these dungeon explorers, and it has to do with like food. Or something.
Yeah, Delicious and Dungeon. Yeah, that's a really good anime.
Yeah.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
You like that one? I heard it was like. It looked.
That's the one. See, that's the one for the episode. No, it's like if you enjoy like Dungeons and Dragons or like video games in general and stuff like that, you'll see that like, oh, this would have been like. In 2004, they would have made this into a video game, and you would have been like, yeah, that's a little fun JRPG.
It looks cool. I just like the vibe of it. From what I've seen some clips, and I'm like, wait a second, this actually looks like a little fun. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of anime that I've been wanting to watch, and I just
somebody will drop a link and be like, you need to watch this as well too. So we'll watch some anime.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah. All right, well, what have you been playing? Let's talk about games, man. What's the status check on games?
As of today, of the time of recording this, the Oblivion remaster just dropped, and I never realized how much of Oblivion was like etched into my like personality, low-key, until I like booted that back up, and I was like, oh, I'm right back to where I was like as a kid. But it's still as scary as it was when I was like 10 playing that game when it came out. Like, it's so weird. And I haven't even done much because we started recording the podcast, and like it took forever to fucking download. But I went through, of course, the intro, and then I'm in the dungeon across the street. Mm-hmm. And I'm deeper in this dungeon. And I don't think I've ever gotten this deep in this dungeon ever.
Yeah.
Like in my life, I think as a kid, you know, you just run in and you just slicing stuff or sneaking around and being like, oh, I hope I don't get caught by the bandits. But I never realized there was hidden pressure plates and like a whole second like sub level of this dungeon. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm locked back in on this. It's surprisingly very faithful, but of course it's just pretty. It's like I liken
sword in some way.
Yeah, I liken this to like, imagine if Blue Point made an Oblivion remaster where it looks pretty, but it's still functionally the same game. It's still janky in terms of like heavy attacks and blocking and all that stuff, but it's just got a better UI, better graphics. That's it. You know what I mean? Like it's got a couple like, you know, little contextual things. Like now there's a whole third person mode and there's like 2 different options for like the camera and stuff like that, and there's animations for everything, so that it's not just like your first person animations, but like you just see them in third person. Now it's like a full-fledged character. You can see them sneaking, it's getting up to run and stealth and all that stuff. So it's a little modern touches and flares to it, but I'll probably talk about it more in the next status check. But I mean, so far I'll probably lose my life to this. I was going to play South of Midnight, but I'll probably lose my life to this one.
Yeah, I felt like I'm kind of surprised they didn't do like a Skyrim or give this.
Oh, they're definitely going to do a Skyrim one, because as soon as you walk out the sewer, that shit was not there. But now when you walk out the sewer, there's a Skyrim logo on the sewer grate. So they're probably going to do a Skyrim. So they'll probably do
like a... Yeah, those are games I couldn't... They're games that I always wanted to get into until I realized how much first person that bothers me. You know, I like first person shooters and stuff like that, but like first person anything else, it's real hard. You know, I put like 50 hours into Skyrim, and I was just like, I don't know about this.
Which is interesting, because Skyrim, I never really put a lot of hours into Skyrim. I've modded it, I've done all that stuff, but I've never really like played all the way through.
You never played it?
I've never even gotten Fushroda or nothing like that. Like I ain't gotten the shout. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it's just for some reason it just didn't hit as much as Oblivion did, and I don't know if it's just because I was an impressionable kid and that was my first like true open world role playing game.
Yeah.
And just like, but there's so much in Oblivion over the years and just in like playing it that I don't know, bro. There's nothing in Skyrim that like piques me as much as finding the arena, first of all, going through the entire arena and having the adoring fan, or killing somebody in cold blood and then having the guy show up when you're asleep and going through that whole Dark Brother like quest, or even how creepy the dungeons are, or the Oblivion gates. There's so much to it that is just I don't get that with Skyrim. Like I play Skyrim and I just feel like I can do anything and be everywhere. Whereas Skyrim, not Skyrim, Oblivion, like you can't do everything. Like there's certain skills you can't even level up because you have to select this class. You have to select a birth sign. You have to build your character more with RPG elements to where, like, for example, I was like, one of my very first playthroughs, I got bit by a vampire going to sleep, and I was so sick because I was like, damn, I can't do nothing. I can't do anything. So I restarted and played as like, I think, an Argonian, just because they're immune to vampirism. Or like, or another situation, I drowned trying to get the Mage Guild quest with the ring, and it like weighs you down in the water. So I became an Argonian so I could swim underwater so that it didn't affect me. Like stuff like that. It's just, I don't feel that when it comes to Skyrim, but I mean, it's probably there in Skyrim, but I think it's just because it's all cold. It's just all snow everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but majority of it.
Definitely not. Yeah, the beginning hours definitely aren't super like snowy or anything. But from what I remember from Oblivion, I played on the PS3, and that was one of the first games that I remember really being like, oh, this is like a Dungeons and Dragons type thing, because I didn't have experience with the Elder Scrolls games. You know, Oblivion was one of like the first ones to come to console, or to come to that generation of console and be in HD and all that. But like the screen tearing and the frame rate and the obtuse, you know, how obtuse it was with its like where to go or what to do or how to fix things. I was like,
and that PS3 version is ass, bro. It is.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, but like, I saw some videos of the new one and I was curious, and I saw that you bought it, so I might have to take it, you know, like try it out on Steam. And it just sort of reminds me of, probably not to the same extent, but I was playing Diablo last night, Diablo 4, and I was thinking about the exploration aspect of Diablo and how it's like, there's something about Diablo where the exploration isn't fun. I don't know if it's because you're not really finding anything or because it's the top kind of bird's eye view kind of thing going on, but it just made me think of like Oblivion, in terms of like, in Oblivion I could just like walk around, kind of check out this dungeon, you know, there's just something about And I don't know if Diablo 4 wants you to explore it in that way, like the way, like, let's say that you explore the Division 2 or the way you explore in Dragon's Dogma. But like,
I don't
there's
know.
something about it that just makes Diablo 4 feel like just one giant arena.
It feels
Like-
streamlined because you're opening. Because the only time I opened a map in Diablo was to click the next waypoint so that I could walk to it and have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm going to this dungeon because it's going to give me this modifier or whatever prefix, and then I would walk over to it and kill anything in my way to that objective. But I wasn't staring at the environment or caring about what was going on around me. Whereas
going up the beaten path.
Yeah. Whereas the Division, especially the Division 2, because that's my neck of the woods. Like I used to hang around that like spot specifically. Like LaFont Plaza was my hangout spot all the time, and a lot of the Division takes place around the areas that I would frequent around because of just hanging out. So I'd see streets and it's very recognizable. Like, oh, I know exactly where I'm at right now. Like I know exactly where I'm at. I could drive it this street casually in my head and go to Man House or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's more interesting looking at the environment. And same thing with Oblivion, where I don't think I've ever beaten Oblivion. I don't even think I've actually. I've turned in the Amulet of Kings. But yeah, for a lot of my playthrough, I don't turn in the Amulet of Kings. I just, once I leave the sewer, I just kind of just live life and do my own thing. And yeah, I've always role played and made characters where I'm like this guy. Like right now, my guy is like a Khajiit that uses like a dagger and like a bow and arrow, and he like only sneaks around and he like runs away if anybody comes close to him. Like that's the way that I'm playing. I've always played to a character, and that might be because as a kid I've always role played in my games. Like even Tenchu Z, if I can make a character, I was gonna role play a character in a game. I was gonna make a person, and I think that allows for more experimentation and a lot more emergent gameplay, because I'm not caring about the waypoint and I'm not caring about the destination. I'm caring, or the reward, because most of the time the reward is like 20 gold and 5 iron arrows. I'm caring about the journey and what happened in between that, or that weird orc guy that was like, wait, don't hurt me, I'm in the dungeon with you, let's clear it together. Like that was more fun to me than doing or leveling up or doing whatever you need to do to finish the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It feels like a game like, don't even bother finishing me, just like explore for 100 hours
and that's exactly what I'm in the mood for, bro. Right now,
yeah,
I just want something I can veg out on.
So speaking of that, then Death Stranding 2. I mean 1. Death Stranding also. That's exactly how I feel with Death Stranding. Death Stranding was a game that I knew I would always like because I'm a big fan of like, Metal Gear and stuff like that. But I didn't realize how much more the gameplay was going to like really just suit me. So like it's just amazing, how like perfect I found the gameplay to be. And it's weird to me because it's like not a game for everybody. I absolutely understand that. Like, it's not like I'm saying like, oh, like God of War, right? Where it's like, wow, this game is incredible. Like most gamers should play this. Death Stranding is such like a new genre, in terms of its like delivery, kind of like what you're doing minute to minute is so focused in on like the like walking, the hiking aspect. I don't know what you want to call it, the walking, the running, whatever, that it just feels so it just feels so new, because I've never played anything quite like this. I've never played, and maybe there's like delivery simulators out there. I'm pretty sure there is on like
no
Steam.
But when you explained this to me on like a couple of days ago, I was thinking about it and I was like, that does sound very interesting. I don't think that there's anything that like to that scale of like I have to maintain my balance or else it falls and I break the package.
Yeah, maintaining like packages, and then you can there's so many pieces of like in-game tech that like become available to you, so then you can just like be on a motorcycle, or you can just essentially pool around wagons on foot. You know, you can make a caravan out of like 2 wagons. You can get a truck. It just depends on where you're going and how you want to go about it. And there's that freedom to like how you approach it. And there's the social aspect as well, which is like everybody's taking all these paths and they can leave signs on the floor, you know, a la Dark Souls, or, you know, like a Souls game, you know, saying like go this way, or like up ahead is danger or whatever. So there's that aspect of it too, and people are like building roads and bridges, and I don't know, man, like there's something about this game that I was like, feels like it was built for me. But also at the same time, it's so impressive that he was able to build this game, because it really is so niche. Like I was talking to one of my friends. Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends. Like, at least Metal Gear, it's like everybody loves to shoot. You know,
You're a spy.
not everybody's good at sneaking. Yeah, you're a spy. Yeah. It's a classic game fantasy where you're just like, you know, pretty strong and you can like take out all these people, whatever. But this game is not about that in the slightest. And I'm just like so shocked that they were able to make this type of game this high quality when when the gameplay is sort of like what it's about, which is just carrying packages, you know, and doing that in different ways. And yeah, it's just like a really, really special game. And like, I'm not even joking. It's in my top 10. Like, I haven't even finished it.
Already.
It's in my top 10.
Let's go.
I was just like, it's that good, you know? And the story is also like the world and the narrative. They're all really interesting and really goofy, but like serious. And it's just like trying something new. Like, they're saying shit that, I don't know, like this cutscenes aren't skippable to me. You know, because I'm like, what the fuck are they talking?
I need to
like,
figure
I'm
out
so
what's going
curious
on right now.
Yeah, like I need to, like, this guy, like it's just not. It's just a game that demands your attention in some way, and it's cheeky. You know, there's a lot of pop culture references in it as well. Like, they're talking. Some of the characters in the game are like, I love Half-Life. You love Half-Life? I love that shit. And I'm just like, what? Like, there's a like, it's just a strange like mishmash of like so many things. But yeah, it is. I would totally add that to. I would you know, amend my top 10 or whatever we did. Top 5? I forget what we did.
I think we did top 10. Yeah, we did the 10.
Yeah, I'd have to put it in there somewhere, or, you know, because I haven't beaten it yet, and
you never know.
From what I understand,
that peak in rule might hit the fuck out you.
Well, yeah. So I have about 38 hours, almost 40 in it, and I think I'm about 50% done.
Dang.
But I've been doing a lot of the side stuff.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of the side stuff, and that just takes time. And I've been like kind of just fucking around, because the main story progresses, and Elise wants to watch that, so I had to kind of, you know, wait to do the main missions,
right?
And you know, so I had to do the side stuff while she's not around. But yeah, it's a really, really special game, and I'm just like almost saddened that I didn't play it on release. But it was better this way, because I get to play it like, you know, 4K 60.
Yeah, unbiased,
to
unfiltered by you going on Twitter and somebody being like, "Look, you can do this over here." You just straight in.
So
that's what I've been meaning
like
to.
Really, really surprising.
That's what I've been meaning to ask you too, when it comes to like games. More so just living in them, just vibing,
that's what this is.
Just relaxing in a game. Cause I think about a game I've been playing on and off for like 2 months now, Tony Hawk Underground, and I've just been vibing. Okay. I've just been living in it. And
Thug
Pro. I've just been, every time I get to a new area, I don't even like skate. I just get off my board and walk around and like try to find secrets and like just stare at the areas like, wow, this is built.
I feel like that's what makes, and I feel like I was telling Elise this, that I don't know that this Death Stranding game would be in my top 10 when I was 18. Like, I feel like I've come to this evolution in tastes and things I like in games that I think now this game, like, I'm meeting this game at the perfect time, because it's like I have a sensibility, like, I want games to slow down sometimes. I want to just live in the game, and I want to like walk around and not be pressured to like have to fight and like this action sequence. I just want to kind of explore, and that's what I've always loved about Mud Runner, aside from just liking the ASMR of it all and just like the feel of it. Mud Runner has a great game feel, and Death Stranding lets you do that, where I'm just like walking. It's just like me and my objective. Silence. There's like birds maybe, or just like the wind.
Oh, you don't
whipping.
even put like a podcast or like an album on or nothing?
No,
just raw
I don't
dogging.
put anything. Yeah, I'm just like in it, listening to like the sounds of like your cargo shaking. Sam will say stuff, which is the main character. The footsteps, the water. There's beautiful vista. It's a beautiful landscape. It's just like zoning out, and it's just like zen. And I'm like, how did he?
How did he know
where does Hideo Kojima? Where does he get the balls to do this shit?
He's probably feeling the same way, where he was like,
I swear.
I think a lot of people, and I think from what I've heard from past people talking about this and stuff about Death Stranding, is that like there comes a time where people, and I think because of the strand aspect of the game, that people try to like optimize it out, like build roads and being like, oh, use this connector frame or whatever like that. And I think we've talked about this so many times with like metas and optimizing the fun out of games, but like it is fun, especially because you're out of that zeitgeist of launch and everybody's creations and amalgamations and what I'm saying, social media, so that you can just vibe with this game. And I think about that because like with Tony Hawk, I hated doing the objectives. Like that was the worst part of the game, was actually playing the game. Like just skating and like doing like, oh, let me see if I can let me go up here and grind. Let me do this. Like that was more fun to me. Like even Devin hopped in it a couple times where she's like, oh, you're in Tampa? Okay, let me grab a controller. Let's play 2-player. Or like, oh, we're in Hawaii? Let me play with you. Like that was more fun, and we would just skate around and try to find each other and be like, hey, look, come with me. Follow me over here. Let's do some ollies over here. Like that's more fun to me. And I think more people need to, but I think that might be like a side effect of us focusing so much on multiplayer gaming in general.
Oh, maybe
people can't even focus enough to play a single player game without optimizing that fun out of it. Like for example, I guarantee you, if you look up Dragon Age Veilguard on YouTube, one of the first videos you're gonna find is best party members, best builds. Best party this is the best choices to make to get the perfect ending. And it's like, I don't care. Like, sorry, we're closed. I didn't realize I got the bad ending. I was just playing the game and was like, okay, I'm gonna do all these tasks, and apparently I got the worst ending. Or like I'm trying to think of other games that I played, but like Lunacid is a game that I was recently playing, and I played as a vampire in that game. It's like a weird Kingsfield inspired indie game. It's really, really, really interesting. I just lost a lot of progress because I didn't save, and I died to this thing that I could not kill, apparently, looking it up. But as I looked it up, I was looking and people were like, yeah, you kill this guy and then you get this super strong weapon, and that's going to carry you for the rest of the game. So you're just going to skip, don't fight anything, and get to this part so you can get this weapon. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I was just vibing. They have a slime in this game called Jalisha, and I found it by accident. Because there's like hidden walls and all this stuff. And then she was hidden behind like 4 hidden walls. And it says slime. And she's like, hey, my name is Jalisha. Can you find my boyfriend, Bernard? And I'm like, all right, bet. I go and I find him. And he's like, yeah, I'm leaving her, bro. I'm out of here. I found a new girl. Find his diary. I go back to Jalisha. And she's like, oh, that sucks. Anyway, you're cute. You want to be my new boyfriend? And I'm like, sure. And then she gives me a slime ring. And now I can like shoot slime poison at people. And like, that's cool to me. Like now I'm just doing everything in the mist for Jalisha, my girlfriend. not because of whatever they need to do, but also, and I think that's a cool aspect of gaming that not a lot of people like take into account because they're so used to multiplayer and comp and meta and I need to be the best. I need to be this. Like Sparking Zero, for example, was supposed to be a game where people just play it for fun. Like for the longest time, I was a spectator for a bunch of people that ran a league where they would just play Tenkaichi 3 and make like their own sports league of like, this is Team Saiyans and Team Namekians, and we're going to have them go weekly and battle each other out. All with in-game systems and mechanics, no mods, nothing like that. Just out of the pure love of watching the game. And Sparking Zero, people don't even play that game anymore because they try to make it too competitive and was like, yeah, I'm going to play as Vegito and all this stuff. And that game was never meant for that. It was meant for you to just play with your Dragon Ball Z action figures and have fun with your friends.
Yeah, the multiplayer aspect of, or the multiplayer culture of games these days could definitely play into why something like Death Stranding is more enjoyable for me, because I never really played multiplayer games too much. I think it's just this like ability to slow it down, you know. I think there's a lot of games that are just like really fast paced, and I'm not like talking about like fast paced like Devil May Cry, but just like there's a lot of action, there's lots of things going on. The main point of the game is to be in action, you know, to be fighting, to have conflict, you know. And sometimes like late at night when I'm playing Diablo or when I'm playing whatever game, you know, Dragon Age, and I'm exploring the world and I run into a monster, I'm just like, I just kind of want to, like, I just kind of want, I don't mind fighting, but I just want to be left alone for a little bit. Like, I don't want to do this whole fight scene right now.
Yeah, that's me with the Division 2, where I'm just like, I kind of just like running around and parkour, and I don't want to shoot
Yeah.
like fucking zombie dogs and all this bullshit. Like, please leave me alone.
Yeah, like you kind of just want to, and you know, like the Division, I feel like more recently when I was playing, I feel like they populated it more or something. Maybe that's just New York because it's smaller. But yeah, just running into more people, more groups of people more consistently, kind of takes the fun away from it. But or not the fun, but I think the exploration aspect, you know, because people are always finding you and they're fucking, you know, you have to take them out and all that. But yeah, I don't know. Just I think Death Stranding is just like a very, very special game and a very unique genre. I hope, like, if we ever got into like game development, I would want to do something like this in some sense. Like, this is like a whole new genre of just like, see, I don't want to say cozy game. Like, my mind wants to like take it there, but it's not a. It's not a cozy game.
Just wait on
in the
it.
same way that
when we play Harvest Moon next season, we'll talk about it.
Because there's still a lot of action in this game. There's still a lot of tense moments. Like, there's a lot of supernatural things that happen. There's, you know, these other enemies that you can take out and do all this kind of, like, there is action, you know, and you can avoid it or engage in it, you know.
But you're
so
also
it's not like Animal
engaged
Crossing
in the story where you're like, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's
right.
happening. Whereas this is funny you mentioned cozy games because we were going to start playing Stardew Valley, like a little co-op save together. And I was telling her because the last time we played, we both got to a point to where we were like butting heads because of how we were spending the money, because we both were kind of optimizing where it was like, no, we want to get watermelons because watermelons make the most money, or no, I want to go fishing, so I'm going mining so I can get this. And we both were like combating each other on like what the right thing to do or what to spend the money and materials on for. And I feel like that's not really like the idea behind it, you know what I'm saying? Like you said with Death Stranding, like you're just walking around, you're doing what you want to do, you're looking at vistas, you're taking your time with everything, doing side quests. Whereas somebody else might play it, like for example, me, I might not be in the right headspace for it, and I might just gun straight for the main quest and not get to see a truck because I didn't unlock it during a side quest or something like that, or like build out my infrastructure to allow for faster travel and be like, yeah, this shit sucks or whatever, you know. I think, yeah. Because back to the point you were saying about making this making a game like this, I do understand the concept that you're trying to say, and I do think if I was to make a game, I would make something more akin to that, or a Harvest Moon, or something of the sorts, to where the world is something you can chill out in.
Right. Yeah. Something I think engaging with the world. Okay, so I've been playing Dragon Age of Velgard as well, right? And Dragon Age has some really, really cool like levels, like really, really cool level designs. They're not super open world. They're like, you know, kind of was open zone or whatever. It's just like little hub worlds, you know. So they're not super like you can't. They're just not super open. It's like linear, right? But there's so many like nooks and crannies and unlockables and things to like, oh, you need to have this party member to unlock this part, or you should be on this quest to open up this door. And it makes like every square inch of each map feel utilized, because it's not just like set dressing. It's like everything sort of has a purpose in some sense. Like there's kind of like a really smart level progression, level design to the way they have the environments. And in some way with Death Stranding, I feel like it's a massive open world to a degree, and it's like you're interacting with the environment in a way that you don't normally in most games. Like when you're in a car, you're just passing by all of these dirt roads and hills and whatever. But in Death Stranding, as you're walking, you're paying so much attention to like, okay, so there's that rock there. I should probably not climb over that. I can go around it, or I have this equipped, so I should be able to crawl over it or whatever, but my battery will be drained and I need my battery later on because it's sort of a long trek, you know. So you're really engaging with like every piece of the environment, you know, like all the assets that they've laid before you, where in most games you pass by a tree, you pass by rocks, you don't really pay too much attention to the kind of stuff. It's just kind of like, this is just there to facilitate me attacking people, you know, in some sense. I mean, not all games are like this, but I feel like with Death Stranding, it really takes it to the next level, where it's like, pay attention to the environment. Where's this river going? Where's the next little like, you know, ford, which is basically like a little island in between, like when a river splits, or like a yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And so if you're in a river and you fall and your packages go down river, you can plan out where they'll get stuck at that island, as opposed to like going down river and never being able to catch them. You pay attention to the world like you would in the real world, you know, where it's like when you're actually hiking, you're paying attention to where your footing is going to be, what's next, you know. You're really like engaging with your environment in a way that's just really unique, because it's a hiking simulator in some way. So you have to like watch your footing, you have to be careful with this and that, and balance. And I think that just makes it so like engaging in a way that I feel a lot of games just kind of are whatever about their environment, or not whatever, but it's just like the environment's there and but you run past it, yeah, and that's it.
You're really there for the activity. You're not there for the environment. You can stop and stare at the environment and be like, wow, it's pretty, but you can't interact with it in the sense like you're saying with Death Stranding. And that makes me a lot more interested in the game. I got to check it out. After I know Life Oblivion, I got to check it out, because Oblivion is a lot of this situation, as the opposite of the situation, to where, well, because back then it was procedurally generated, but a lot of the environment, you kind of just are walking and you're like, like the forest doesn't stick out. And unless you're going towards a waypoint and you're like, oh, okay, I see this Oblivion gate right here, or oh, I see this town, but you don't really like interact of any way, shape, or form with the environment. Like even like, okay, for example, even earlier playing the Oblivion, in this very first dungeon, as soon as you exit the sewer, right across the street, there's a letter that one of the bandits writes, and they're like, yeah, those Khajiits, they decided to sleep deeper in the tomb, thank God, because they smell. But and they're like, oh, and thank you for the other bandit for deciding, thinking of the smart idea to shoot the crystals down so that we can reach them. And then I try to shoot the crystals down because I'm like, oh, I kind of want to get these so I can sell these later, like they did, like, well, we're trying to do before I came in and killed them. And you can't. And it's like, okay, I've got a note that says that they did that, but then I can't do that. And I'm looking at that, and I should be able to do that, especially now in the remastered version. And yeah, it's those things that are immersion breaking, but that sounds very interesting in a Death Stranding situation. And I feel like that might be the next evolution of games, is to stop making the environment just a background to an activity, and making the environment a living, breathing world, in that sense of like imagine if you were playing Assassin's Creed Shadow and Yasuke's foot got stuck in the mud in the middle of combat or something like that.
It will be interesting to see if there is like an evolution of those systems. Rise of the Tomb Raider, I remember, had like the mud where you would get stuck in it, you know. But I think it's just interesting to have like the environment or the nature interact with the character, you know. And I feel like that's so. It feels like it is a core mechanic that you would have to design your game around, you know, and not every game could do that. Like, you don't really want that in like a Dynasty Warriors, but
yeah, because I mean, think about Death Stranding. The main point of the game is to slow down and focus, so that you have like everything is designed around you having to interact with the environment in that way. Now, if you were like Solid Snake in the same environment, you would just sprint up the fucking hill and shoot somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's just really cool. Man, now that I'm thinking about it, like Tomb Raider with like a system like this would be kind of cool. Because one of my favorite things to do is like find like a shortcut. Like, you know, most people are like, let's say most people are making routes that go around this like giant like mountain, and if you can like find a route to climb up the mountain and then scale down it with like a rope on the other side, you just feel so accomplished. Yeah, and I feel like that would kind of lend itself cool to like tomb raiding, you know, in some sense.
Or if like, you could like shoot this like lantern down and then jump on it, and if you jump and do some agility thing or something like that, you can skip this whole room or something of the sorts like that, instead of it being intrinsically designed to be this exact way, and then this is going to trigger right here and fall. I think that it works, like you said, with like the mud. I do remember that. Or like, what if she falls in quicksand and you gotta like quickly shoot this rope so you can do something,
right? I think maybe games when, you know, I'm actually really just curious on where Death Stranding 2 is gonna go, because this game looks great already on the PS5 as a PS4 title that's been up-resed or whatever, but Death Stranding 2, I'm like, what the fuck?
You wanna know where they go from here? They finally add the combat.
Well, there is combat in this. There's like guns, and you can like, there's grenades and stuff, and you actually don't kill anybody for the first like 40 hours. You don't get any lethal weapons. Which I will add that Kojima really knows how to do progression systems in his game. I feel like since Metal Gear Solid 5 and 4, there's like, he knows how to like give you items and new tools that really like change the way you're playing the game, like just slowly. Like, he doesn't give it to you all at once, but he doesn't make you wait forever for it. He's like, oh, well, here's this now. Well, here's the level 2 version of that, so it's a little better. And now here's this entire new tool that you could use or not. Yeah. And like, there's just like a nice rhythm of like getting new features, of even customizing things.
I think about the puppy and Metal Gear Solid 5, how you get the puppy first, and then you have to watch him grow up, and then you can take him on a mission. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. It is cool. It's so inventive. Like, you know, and then you get like the D Walker and you know the you know I think you get D Horse first, as like your actual companion, but it's like a lot of cool little incorporations that are like slowly given to you that really make it so satisfying and like rewarding. Just a really smart, great progression system. He honestly, like, just playing this, sometimes I think I take Hideo Kojima for granted sometimes. Like, oh yeah, like he's amazing, whatever.
It's Kojima.
But yeah, it's Kojima, but like sometimes I'm like, this is like a really, especially because, you know, with Back of the Rack, we've been talking so much for the past couple of years and analyzing these games. Like, yeah, there are some really smart designs that he used, a very creative, inventive, you know, kind of stuff going on that you just don't see in many.
I wanted to go back and I wanted to play the Metal Gear Solid series, like in general, just because it's been so long. And when I played them as kids, I wasn't really like politically sound as I am now. So like I feel like a lot of things are gonna like hit me way more differently. And also like there's small things like I remember I think was it Metal Gear Solid 2 that had the pressure triggers. Like depending on how hard you press the button is how you like whether you like held the gun up or like if you shot the guy and stuff like that. Like I just think about small things that they do like that. And I think the only other game I can remember that has like pressure sensitive buttons, I think is Mark of Cree and the Bouncer.
Ugh.
Wait, to Mark of Cree?
That's Mark of Cree, ugh.
That's BOTR, bro. That's BOTR.
Yeah, so many of our BOTR games are ugh. But we have to fucking play them.
True. True.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. I actually haven't played Mark of Cree, but I just remember thinking that cover was awful.
It is a bad cover. It is a bad cover. Fun fact: I think it's the first game that's had like Arkham style combat. I think because it was like,
really?
Yeah, like I think you use like the face. From what I played for like 20 minutes, you use the face buttons to like target specific. Like the face buttons will appear on top of like an enemy's head. And then you press those buttons to like counter or attack if they're like attacking you, and you just are in a circle. And, you know, instead of square, triangle, square, triangle, it's.
Hey, don't knock the classic square.
Hey, it
works. You know we fuck with it.
If it works, it works.
It works. Monster Hunter is the only fucking game that's just like squares for sheathing your weapon. Circle is the attack button. It's so weird to me. Just, square,
triangle, square. How about that?
Yeah. No, it's triangle, well, yeah, because it's
triangle, circle.
Triangle. Right? Yeah, those are the attack buttons, right? Triangle and circle.
Triangle, circle, R2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, R2. R2's in there as well. Insane. I'm just like, Monster Hunter, what are you doing? Why? Square is an attack button universally, and you're changing it.
I'm about to remove the first Monster Hunter off the list because I just remembered he uses the analog stick for all of his attacks.
Oh, I saw a video on like, you know, the evolution of the series, and I was like, I never want to play that game, not realizing that it was on fucking.
Yeah. You want to?
I'd be down, but it seems like a game we'd never be able to finish.
Nah, yeah, that's definitely one of those ones we don't finish. We just play for like 10 hours and go, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to talk about this at length.
Like Blitz the League.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man. So on top of that, I've been playing also Dragon Age, and Dragon Age is like fucking a high quality game. Like I saw so much backlash on it.
It's a good game if you don't got a bitch in your ear saying it sucks.
It is like, I think this Dragon Age, the Veilguard, is probably. I'm just trying to think of like games in my mind that have like huge controversy, and the controversy really affected the overall score of the game. And for some reason, I can only think of Last of Us Part 2 for some reason because of like leaks and what?
Forspoken.
Oh wait, yeah. What was the big deal with? Oh, the dialogue, right?
Yeah, about the dialogue.
There was just like,
and that's just because of a very poorly edited trailer, and the dialogue in the game is not that cringy. Like actually, for most of the game, Frey is actually an asshole.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I remember you saying that it's not that bad, and I feel like, yeah, this Dragon Age got Forspoken for. I can kind of, there is some like questionable like, oh, this was clearly made by a transgender person. Me and Elise were trying to make a custom character, and it's like they don't want you to make a feminine body at all. Like it has to be like a fucking wide shouldered, no hips, no boobs.
Let me get a fat ass, bro. Let me put a fat ass on my characters, bro.
Me and Elise were like, what is, like, it just looks like a trans man. And it's like very like clear like that, either I guess you could say it was an accident, but you know, it's like, oh, okay, there's the pronouns, and yeah, there's like this, so, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. But other than that, which I mean, it didn't bother me that much, but like I liked, I think the graphics are great. I think it's a great looking game. I think there's a great style to it. People didn't fuck with the style, saying that like it was too soft or like Fortnite-y or it's not Dragon Age. And I'm just
Dragon
like,
Age Inquisition looked like shit.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Dragon Age always
Every Dragon
I mean, it's
Age
always kind of
looks
looked
like this.
gritty. Yeah, they always kind of looks gritty. This one looks a bit more like dreamlike. Like there's a, like even when you're in like the open world areas or the open zone areas, they have like a hazy feel to it, which is kind of cool, like a filter almost. So it feels a bit more magical in some sense. It does feel, I would say it does feel a bit more like Disney Pixar-ish, but I like it still. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, and I guess with the scale of what, I don't know what the fuck the story is, but I guess with the scale of the story, and it makes sense for it to be as fantastical as it is compared to, I don't know. I just remember playing like Dragon Age 2 and like Inquisition, and both of those just being very drab for a majority of my
They just
playthrough.
like really like, yeah, they're really like realistic looking and kind of just like there's
generic
not
fantasy.
much in the way of, yeah. So I kind of get the direction, but the gameplay is solid. I mean, the characters, interactions, they can be fun. Some of the writing I feel sometimes is a little like off in terms of character writing. Sometimes they'll say things that are just feel a little off to me. And some of the characters can be annoying too, I guess, but I have about 30 hours into it. I've kind of taken a break from it since Death Stranding is coming out in June, so I wanted to beat the first Death Stranding before the second. And but I recommend it. I think so far I think it's really solid. I was really impressed by the character creator like UI. Like when you first start the game and how it like, enter your name. Okay, now pick your class, and now here are your characters, or here are your background story choices. And like it's presented in a very fluid, like high quality way. I really liked that. But I don't know. I would say like try it.
They
really
gave it away for free. I'm gonna try it. I got it installed, and every time I finish a game, I'm like, all right, I'm about to boot up Veilguard. Then I go, ooh, but what about Tony Hawk?
Yeah, well, Veilguard is also one of those games like you don't want to step away from it too long because it kind of has like very specific controls to a degree.
It's one of those games where you got to play it and you got to lock in until you beat it.
Yeah. So I probably should play it a little bit more. I don't know why I was playing Diablo 4 last night, but
it's easy to just tune it off for a second, bro.
It is.
That's why I've been
also
playing
I have this rogue build insane. This rogue build it's not even fun. It's so insane because it's just like 5 times speed, attacking like just burst damage like crazy, like nothing can handle me. I'm just like, what is this? This is so broken right now. I'm just like, maybe, I don't know, but it is addicting. It is addicting. And I was playing the Division 2. Like we did that one night where we did the what was it called again? The Summit.
Yeah.
Which we got to do again soon so we can beat it. But
the Division 2
there's just too much in the Division sometimes.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I was trying to figure out like what to do, and then I was doing the priority objectives, and they were like, yeah, you need to do the Descent, which is like a whole roguelike mode. And I was like, wait, what? And then I tried to queue up for Countdown, and I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? And then I was doing like I went into the dark zone. I forgot how the dark zone even works in the Division 2. I was like, I don't even know what to do in this zone, bro.
Yeah. It's really, there's just a lot going on. And there's, like, I think the last time I played, I was messing around with my builds. And I was like, okay, let me actually, like, focus on a specific thing here and create some of my loadouts and all that. And delete some stuff and, not delete, tinker with some of the, like, you know, aspects and attributes and all that. And I was like, okay, I'm bored with that. It took so much time to get that in order. I finally did. And I'm running around. I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I'm looking at like the projects. And I'm like, okay, so those are, okay, so I can do that. And I'm like, let me just take over this this control point. And I forgot that if you go around and like,
it makes it harder.
There are the lines. Yeah, if you clear out all those fucking... And I'm thinking, I'm like, that should weaken it. And I forgot that it was the opposite.
I did the same thing.
And so
earlier.
I was taking 3 hours trying to take this control point. Like, why is this so fucking hard? And I just stopped. And I was like, this is not even I don't even want to do this specific thing, but it's so hard.
I did the same thing. Insane. I did the same thing, and then I started doing. That's why I got into the summit, because I was like, I don't want to do this. I just want to just go in and do some shit, and I just did the summit.
Right.
And I try to do like the missions, because like the manhunt missions also give you like new skills. Like there's like an EMP sticky bomb and like a repair trap and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, let me do this. At least get that. But you got to do the missions on certain difficulties, and like I was like, bro, these missions are long as fuck, bro. I'm not trying to do all this.
I did. So there was one mission that I hadn't done. I was like going through all the main missions. I'm like, oh, I haven't done one for the Pentagon. Did you do the Pentagon mission?
Yeah. That's
we fight the giant.
That's the one I was talking about. Where I was like, this shit is long as fuck.
But I swear they're all like that. Because I remember when I was like in peak division mode, I remember like being like, oh, let me just do this mission real quick and then I'll go to bed. And I'd be up for like another hour. And I'm like, God damn. Yeah, they're fun, but they're just long. And the Pentagon looked cool, by the way. I thought there were some cool moments in that. I was like,
I think the Air and Space Museum has always been like super cool to me. And
the zoo? The zoo
is
so
pretty
dope. Cool.
I think the Air and Space Museum is really cool because I always used to go there all the time. That was like my like go-to museum. That and the the Native American Museum. Like anytime I was just in DC, I was just like go in there and just cool it.
Wait, is the Native American Museum in the game, or are you just saying that you used to go?
No, I was just saying like just in general.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the Air and Space Museum, I would go like every year growing up.
Okay, that's cool.
So
if I ever come visit you, you'll have to take me, I guess, because I have no clue.
You don't want to go to none of those museums. The only museum you want to go to is the Holocaust Museum, so you can cry.
Oh my god!
Because at the Holocaust Museum, you like pick a person, bro. When you first walk in, they're like, "All right, here's your person," and then like you go through like the history of the Holocaust and World War II and all that stuff, and you could see like what was going on with your person at that time and if they survived and all that stuff. It's pretty fucking morbid, but
that is immersive as fuck.
Yeah, like it locks you in where you're like, fuck, this dude didn't survive. Fuck.
That's crazy. That is insane. Yeah, I feel like in the Division, the Air and Space Museum is... I remember that being kind of hard, but maybe because that was one of the first missions I tried to do on Legendary.
Yeah, Legendary's hard, bro. Legendary is... It's fucking hard.
You can't do that alone, for sure.
Yeah.
You do not want to do that shit alone.
I've been... I think what the Division has it... My problem with the Division now is that every time I like do some stuff, when I open the inventory, I just get overwhelmed because it's like, okay, what? Like, is this a good roll, or like, should I put this in like calibrate? So like everything I've been doing now is just like I'm just getting gear so that I can put it in the library. I feel like once I fill that library out, I could like I'm free to play the game. Like,
right.
But fill it out.
That's kind of how I felt because I had so much shit and my inventory kept getting filled. And I'm like, fuck, dude, what am I supposed to do with all this?
Yeah, and every time I get an exotic backpack, bro, and it blows the fuck out of me, bro, because I want like a mask or something. I just got like these exotic gloves, and the gloves are like, when you blind fire or fire from the hip, it's like 50% more accurate. And I'm like, when am I ever doing that?
Oh yeah, those are the ones that I was like, yeah, you can give those to me. Did you not give them to me?
No, I thought I gave you the backpack or whatever. Or the shotgun.
You gave me the shotgun.
Yeah,
shotgun. But then you also got because I remember the gloves, and I was like, oh, I always fire from the hip, and you're like, I never do. I'm like, well, drop them. And you never did, I guess.
I don't know.
Because I was looking for them too. I was like, where are they? And I guess you never gave them to me.
I got another shotgun. Do you still have that shotgun?
Or I think I might have dismantled it, but yeah, I had it. Maybe.
Yeah, because I got another one of those shotguns when I logged in the other day, and I was like, I don't remember getting a second one of these. But to be fair, they don't really like show you. I think that's the difference, and I think that's why I've always liked Destiny and always gone back to Destiny more than I've gone back to the Division 2. Because when you get an exotic in Destiny, it pops up in the text box. It pops up this giant blurb like, "Ooh, you got this exotic! Wow!" And like. The Division 2.
Congratulations. I
got like 2 exotics today doing the like little weekly like donations and all that stuff, and like it doesn't even pop up the exotic and be like, is like I had to check my inventory. I was like, when the fuck did I get this?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, the Division, I think the Division 2 has a bit of a not an onboarding problem, but like, and well, you were mentioning this earlier because you were talking about the gacha game AFK Journey.
Yeah.
And how it's just like you jump back in, you're like, what the fuck is all this? Like, I get there's been quality of life changes, but it's just like there's so many changes and like weird ways to like accomplish things. Like there's the manhunt season thing, right? And it's like, how do I progress this? It doesn't say anywhere. I'm like trying to figure out how to do just the manhunt. It's like clue 1, and it's just like in
and fucking jumble text and shit.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, what do I do? Can you give me like hey, maybe you should start here. You haven't played the game in a year. Here's what we recommend you do to get like kind of back into the rhythm of things.
Yeah,
but there isn't anything like that.
They're just like, oh yeah, go check out Descent. Oh yeah, go check out Summit. Oh yeah, go check out Incursions. Oh yeah, go check out this. And you're like, bro, cool out. Because then I'm opening my map every day, and it's like, hey, bro, the fucking Black Order is taking over this thing, and this is under attack, and this control point is falling, and you need to go here and do these weekly projects. And I'm like, but also go to New York and do a whole bunch of other shit. And it's like, guys, please.
Yeah.
What is a thing that I can do? And I guess you can do whatever you want to do in the Division.
Right.
That is the best part about it, is that you can just open up the map, look at the targeted loot, and be like, I want some knee pads, so I'm gonna go over here and get some knee pads.
Yeah.
But like,
I guess I just feel like I'm never spending my time like
doing
the
something
right
worthwhile.
way.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I just did these like side things or whatever, and now I'm trying to take this control point, but like, is this worthwhile? Should I be doing this? Or should I like be doing something else?
That's why I just play the Summit. Every time I play, I just hop in and do a couple floors and be like, yeah, that was cool. All right. How about
Oh wait, does the Summit reset?
Yeah, so every week, long as you complete 15 floors, you're gonna get an exotic, which is cool.
Oh. So you mean we're back at 0 because we didn't complete it?
Yeah, well, I completed it. So I got an exotic. That's how I got the shotgun that I gave you.
No. I thought I asked you like because we were like at floor 25 or something, right?
Oh no, okay. So yeah, once you complete like all 100 floors, I think you get an exotic as a reward. But yeah, just like every week, it's like a weekly mission to just complete any 15 floors. Like even if you die and like repeat a floor or something like that, that still counts. Like you're going to get 15. And then there's like. And under the season pass, there's like the priority missions you can do, and it's like a random like 3 things, and you can like re-roll it to see if there's like exotics and stuff like that. And then if you do it, it'll like choose something and be like, hey, you'll get, like I did earlier. That's why I did Summit earlier, because it was like, hey, if you do this through like 4 floors of Summit, you will give you an exotic item. And I was like, okay, bet I'll go to the Summit and do this and get an exotic item. And then I did it. And then I realized that the weekly reset, so I had to go and do 11 more floors.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right, well,
it's a game.
What's next? You've been playing Division 2, Oblivion. I've been playing Death Stranding.
Yeah. Other than that, I've just been
Dragon Age.
just been trying to figure out life, bro. I've just been. You have a question here that I actually do want to talk about before we like fuck around and be like, oh, this is it for the episode. See you later, guys.
Yeah.
I think it's more so a 2-part question about what is the future of gaming YouTube and who is allowed to have an opinion on games.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those go hand in
yeah.
hand.
Oh, you think they're connected? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe they go hand in hand.
Oh, I can almost, I can see how they might be connected. But when I was writing them, they were very different. Because I saw, first, let's start with the who's allowed to have an opinion on games, because I thought this was kind of funny. I saw a reel, right? And it was 2 niggas like you and me. And they're basically talking about like, you can't have an opinion on games if you only play Fortnite, Madden, or any sports game and Call of Duty.
I agree.
And I was like, yeah, you can't.
agree.
You can't have opinion on games because you only like if you're only playing one type of game, you can't have an opinion. I mean, sure you can have opinion among your friends and all that, but you can't be going on the internet talking about whatever when you haven't even played any of the classics, when you haven't expanded your horizons, you only play, these free to play games.
Well, I think it depends. Like,
how do you feel?
I think it depends, because there's a guy on YouTube. I think his name's like Soft Drink or Sports Drink. I'm getting his name wrong. It's like Soft Drink TV or something. But all he does is play sports games and reviews sports games. He'll talk about the removed features from Madden and then what's changed and how the animations and all this stuff, the presentation, the UI design, rosters, all that stuff. He'll talk about the sports games to like a minute detail that I appreciate, where he's like, NBA Live 07 was good because of these reasons, and I don't even think about that, and I don't go, okay, I'm gonna play NBA Live 07 because of these features. But he thinks about that, and he's in his retrospective and reviews. And I think he, if he only plays Madden, I think he's warranted in that because he only plays sports games per se. Whereas I feel like a lot of people, and this is a funny thing with certain games, like for example, Sonic games or Devil May Cry. A lot of people say they love Sonic or love Devil May Cry, but they ain't never played them games before. And they'll be like, yeah, this is how you're supposed to play this game. And it's like, bro, you can't even beat the game on normal, let alone Dante Must Die mode. Like, and you're talking about, well, this is what you're supposed to be playing it like how when the Sonic Unleashed free compiled come out and all these people are like, wow, Sonic Unleashed is actually a good game. The Werehog stuff is actually really good. And it's like, yeah, it always has been. What did you guys not play the game when it came out? What are you talking about? And
yeah, Sonic Unleashed is the one that gets a lot of hate, isn't it though?
Yeah, because of the Werehog stages and all that stuff. And then people now are like, wow, the Werehog stages are pretty cool just because it got recompiled and can run at 60 frames a second. It's like, yeah, every fucking 360 game ran at 20 frames a second, bro. That's not the issue. I think certain people like to comment on video games and have an opinion on video games because they watch other people play video games and then think that whoever was playing that video game, in their opinion of whatever Let's Play or streamer or blah, blah, blah that they watch, that they'll just parrot their opinion and not more so make their own like opinion on the game, let alone even play the game. And it's like, you never played that. You can't say that that's a good game, Like, I couldn't say Half-Life was one of the greatest games of all time until I played Half-Life. Now I can say this is one of the greatest games of all time. Same with Doom. I couldn't say it until I played it. But that's not to say that you can't have an opinion just because you don't play it. I don't want to say you can't have an opinion just because you don't play a certain type of game. If you play only cozy games, you can have an opinion on games. You can have an opinion on how they're presented. You can have an opinion on how they're structured or marketed or what features should be added. You can have an opinion. Doesn't matter the genre that you play, but you have to play games and not just watch the Game Awards every year and be like, oh man, that fucking sucks. Call of Duty should have won best ongoing game.
Right.
Why didn't insert this game that I've heard so much about win Game of the Year over Astrobot?
Yeah.
Did you play all of the Game of the Year awards? What's Balatro? Why is that in the Game of the Year? Stop.
Yeah, I definitely agree that for instance, the person you mentioned earlier about only playing sports games, yeah, you can have an opinion on sports games, right? Actually, let me back up because I feel like the reel itself that I watched or whatever, the TikTok video, I don't even know where I watched it now that I'm thinking about it, but I think I don't know what the context for them bringing this up was. You know, I don't know like why they were saying like you can't have an opinion if you only play Fortnite, if you only play Call of Duty, what you know. But I thought it was interesting because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there, and especially because you and me go back and play a lot of these like, you know, back of the rack games and stuff. It's sort of a gatekeeping tactic in some sense because like it's like with movies, like, oh, you've never seen Citizen Kane and 8.5.
You never listened to Dark Side of the Moon, bro? You never listened to Bob Dylan,
yeah,
bro?
you've never. Yeah. Like, it's like you can't comment on rock or rap, let's say in this case, or
Unless
hip
you listen to
hop,
Ready to Die.
yeah, or classical music, whatever. You can't comment because you don't list. You've never heard or watched this. So I kind of don't like the mentality, but at the same time, I'm imagining that the person that is kind of jumping into these things and has an opinion will have a bit of tact and not fucking say something wild when they haven't fucking like watched or listened to some of this stuff. You know, I'm imagining that these people might be like, "Oh yeah, I've only listened to this latest rock album and I'm into rock now and I have this opinion about it." You know, but I'm not, or I've only just played the newest fucking God of War, so I don't know where the other God of Wars kind of like, you know, created this sort of, you know, world and all this.
I think
I would imagine that those type of people aren't going out and being like, this is the best version of God of War, you know, when they haven't played the other ones, you know, like,
yeah,
like I don't know, people are reckless like that online, but I don't know.
I think people I'm calling out one of my homies here because he said it verbatim that he cannot play single player games. Like it's just
So
innately he cannot. He's too competitive. He likes the competitive nature of video games, and that's what draws him into playing video games. Nothing wrong with that. Completely nothing wrong with that. But I think the issue comes when I hear the frustration in him playing competitive games, or I hear the, you know, the disgruntled Marvel Rivals queue into tilt, you know, and I'm like, hey, maybe you should, you know, play a single player game just to cool out, you know, still get your chops. You can still train your aim or whatever you want to do by playing, you know, Wolfenstein or, you know, play the single player campaign to a Call of Duty game or something like that. And he's like, no, I refuse. I cannot. And I'm like, you like 2K, but you don't like playing 2K because of the meta of 2K, but you could just play my NBA.
Oh, okay.
Or like
yeah.
play now, or like, you know what I'm saying, play my career. There's single player options to playing 2K, which is what I majorly do when I play 2K.
Yeah.
That you don't have to experience that competitive tilt. And I think when it comes to games, a lot of people are on now, especially because of free to play and the accessibility of consoles and online mobile and all that stuff, that it's very easy for somebody to only play a Fortnite or only play a Roblox or only play insert free to play game, gotcha game or whatever like that, and feel as though that's enough. And it's not, yeah, like you said, not to be gatekeepy, but I think my issue comes from those people that are loud and not wrong per se, but just are loud and don't even know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's like you're saying like nobody cares about this game. Like, you know, when you watch a stream or a Game Awards and they're showing this indie game or they're showing this like game that's not a shooting game or action game or devilment, you know, and everybody's just like, who cares? Move on, da 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 da, blah blah blah. Next, skip, LLL in the chat, and you're like, bro, but this looks interesting. Like, I actually like this. I like what I'm seeing here. And
right, like it's some
yeah, and people are just looking for that next fix of whatever is good. But I can definitely tell you who does not have an opinion. Like, I'm not saying those people, like, all those people are valid in their opinions. I just say, before you speak and say something crazy, make sure you're a little bit educated before you say some wild shit talking about some Dark Souls are the best invented lock on cameras, or, you know, shit like that. The people who cannot have an opinion are people that perpetuate uninformed narratives, such as what a Forspoken or a Dragon Age Veilguard, or you know what I'm saying, insert is this game woke DEI, blase blah. I think those people should not have an opinion on games, because 9 times out of 10, them niggas don't be playing games. And I forgot the statistic. I gotta pull it up, bro. I should have this shit bookmarked right now. But there's a statistic that PC gamers only played, I believe, like 8% of PC gamers played new games in 2024. And then the same thing with like consoles, where it's like 60%. Hold on, I gotta find this shit. 60% of gamers, like 60% of gamers played games that were like new or old. 60% of all playtime went to games 6 years or older in 2023. So like, people are only playing Fortnite, Roblox, GTA 5, Rocket League, you know, Minecraft. So like, a majority of players statistically aren't playing new games, aren't playing anything new. They're playing the same old games that are still alive, you know, same live service games. That's the majority of the playtime. So I know it statistically. We have the data to back it up. They're collecting all of our data. We can see it.
But hold on. Let me poke a little hole in the statistic. So Fortnite, Roblox, all these games, people spend 100 hours plus. So there's a larger pool, right?
That's true.
If a new game comes out and it's only 10 hours but they played it, it's still going to skew towards the game that they play more of.
Exactly, especially because you're putting
things so it kind of makes sense, because those games are far more lifestyle, like perpetual, like they're gonna eat up more time, whereas opposed to like we spend 30 hours and like a 40 hours in a JRPG.
Yeah, because my PlayStation Warped at the end of every year is always like, yeah, you play Fortnite and 2K, and it's like, yeah, but
you're a multiplayer.
I played like 40 other games on PlayStation, bro. Trust me.
Yeah. So I think that the statistic is true, but it can misrepresent that people. It's not that people aren't playing, but rather that those numbers, or the amount of playtime that they're spending in those games, is far larger, because those games just demand way more time.
Yeah.
Most people aren't spending 100 hours in God of War or Last of Us. You know, you 30 hours, you beat it, you maybe platinum it, 50 hours, whatever, and then you go back to your Marvel rivals or whatever.
I guess I guess let me rephrase that, because I just kind of wanted it. That was kind of I'm sorry. That was a little bit of a straw man. But well, guess what? I wanted to use that in the sense of saying is that, like, once again, like I was saying with Sonic Unleashed, and everybody being like, oh, Sonic Unleashed is actually good, is that like people don't be playing games, but they talk online all day like they be playing games and be saying Forspoken sucks, and then niggas ain't never played Forspoken. Niggas be saying Dragon Age Veilguard sucks. Look, it flopped. It's already on PlayStation Plus. But niggas ain't never played Dragon Age Veilguard until it was free.
Exactly. Don't wait till you play. I think my favorite JRPG being Final Fantasy Lightning Returns. You know, one of my favorite games. Niggas love to talk shit about that whole series.
The whole trilogy.
Especially with that third one. And I'm just like, did you play it though? because it's pretty cool. Like, if you played it and just didn't assume that, oh, you can only play as Lightning and there's no party system and it's the third one, why is there 3 of these? And oh, it's just a dress up simulator. I'm like, this just fucking, like, if you've never played it, just shut up.
Resident Evil 6.
Like, I don't know.
It's a great
Same example, yeah.
Fucking.
But it's definitely worse now for sure, because something like Dragon Age: The Veilguard, I think, released 10 years ago, 15 years ago, would have been
Game of the Year.
Incredible. Yeah, Game of the Year. Like, playing it does remind me of a PS3 game. Like, the way it's structured, and, you know, it feels like a Mass Effect in some sense. It feels more Mass Effect than Dragon Age in my mind, but it's so fucking solid. It feels so. I kind of feel bad that it got shamed so hard because of like the woke conversations or whatever is in it. Because even still, I'm like, this is like solid, a very, very solid game. Like, it's beautiful. It runs pretty well. Like, good sound design, good voice acting.
Yeah, I think about all the games that
it's not
don't really get a chance because of online discourse skewing a lot of the public reception of a game. Like, for example, that just released Fatal Fury. How everybody's like, this is weird. Why do you have Ronaldo and this random DJ in here? Like, give me actual characters, Saudi Arabia money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
oh, because SNK.
Yeah, and I'm like, but do we not remember that Street Fighter Cross Tekken had 5 character slots associated with like Cole, Evil Cole, Ugly Mega Man, and the 2 fucking cats from PlayStation that nobody cares about? They're not even in Astrobot.
Yeah.
Like, this has always been a thing. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had a comedian as a playable character, bro. Like, this has always been a thing. Like, I think people just take things and then slide with it and then go like, oh no, like, and it's like, guys, please just play the fucking game. I promise you, make your own opinion and play the game, and maybe you'll find something. That should be the mantra of Back of the Rack, is that if you just play these games and take it not for what people were saying, not what people have said in the past or what like that, you might find a game that is one of the best games you've ever played in your life.
Yes, you might find something enjoyable or something unique, or just you learn a lot about what works and doesn't through the way that, I mean, we work through some of these games, you know. You find out a little bit about your we didn't even play that.
I know, I'm just saying.
But to bring it back to the core question, or the second part of the core question, which was basically like the future of gaming YouTube and how it ties into, you know, some of this. I was just, you know, watching YouTube I was super hungover on Sunday. It's fucking dead. I was just like, I'm never fucking drinking again. But I was just watching YouTube
next week,
and yeah, seriously, and just watching. You know, there's a ton of content on games now. So much. Everybody's like some expert in some corner of the fucking game. Like, I was watching someone that's a fucking, you know, a self-titled expert on Animal Crossing, and they were going through all like the Animal Crossing games, and then they were going through all like the Wii Sports games, and like talking about how the new one is trash, and just like everybody has like this confidence to talk so authoritatively about everything now, about every like game and all this, and I'm just like, this is crazy. There's so many videos. Like, it's just like,
I feel you.
There's just so many people talking about all these games.
Niggas be yapping, crazy, bro. Niggas be yapping, I'm just like, and they don't be talking about nothing, bro. That's why I'm trying to reprogram myself, because YouTube was my TV for like a long time, and now I'm trying to like genuinely get into like the TV that I missed, and like movies, and just watching that casually over watching. Yeah. Like the other day, I watched some guy go over all of the Sega CD JRPGs, just casually talking about their release and like what overview of the game, and I'm like, thanks for 45 minutes wasted. Yeah. Or like those like random videos where it's like, can I beat Persona 3 with only using the first Persona at level 1?
Oh my god.
Can I beat it with only Z? Like, it'd be dumbass videos. And I think about it and I'm like, that is the case, because that's just technically a let's play, but like chopped up and like done like post commentary, or like the long video essays where somebody talks about a video game for like 15 hours straight or whatever, like that, breaking down like, yeah, this is, bro. Speaking of Dragon Age, I've had in my watch later for like 2 years this like Dragon Age like 6 hour long like retrospective thorough, it's like, I think it's like a thorough look at Dragon Age. I've had this shit in my watch later for like years. It's the very first video in my watch later, and every time I skip that shit.
And what I'm getting tired of too really is like this,
it's
like everybody has the same humor in these videos.
There's 3 archetypes, I would say. There's the there's the articulate, like, I'm just going to be textbook, I'm going to explain this thing like it's like a scientific feat or something of the sorts, like that, you know, historical.
Okay.
There's the obnoxious, like, supercut guy.
Yeah, internet culture, memes every second, referring to some obscure corner of the internet.
Yeah. And then there's the AVGN guys, bro. Like, like angry video game nerd. Like, Scott the Wise is technically an angry video game nerd, nigga. Like, he's a son. Completionist, Pro Jared, Peter Butter Gamer. All them niggas that like have a camera on and then they go like, yeah, this game right here, one of the worst games of all time. Like, that's an archetype, right? Like, that's it's very cut and dry. Like, what you gonna do if you gonna be on like gaming YouTube?
I'm sick of the thumbnails. I'm sick of the like trying to. It's hard for all these people to talk about different things when they're all aiming for the same, like, they're all using like the same clickbait or the same like clicky thumbnail.
Is this game worth it in 2025?
Yes, yeah. Yeah. Like, pretty much all this, like, it's the same, and it's bleeding into each other, and no one's ever saying anything like smart or important, and like there's a lot of assumptions with a lot of things, or you can tell, like, did you do your research, or did you actually,
or did you
you're just saying that so flippantly. Yeah, or, you know, they say like, oh well, you know, like there's always games that people like dismiss, and I'm like, that just feels like you're dismissing it because everybody always dismisses it, but you could have added so much to your video by like giving more, like, oh well, this is why it's good or bad, but you're just saying like, we're not gonna talk about this game, and then it's like a fucking super cut of Final Fantasy 13. It's just like it's like, is that what we're still doing? Like, we're just generic opinions, like, no, I'm like wondering how it's gonna progress, if it's gonna be like, if it's gonna die, or is just gonna be a change in like what people are talking about, because it's just like so hard to imagine what the future will be, where everybody's almost saying the same thing or repeating each other's message. Kind of like, I mean, it happened to you with one of your videos, and the guy was like basically repeating what you had already said in a video, but with his audience, and he just linked you. And it's just like, that happens way more
without the credit.
Then I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, exactly.
I think there will be, I don't know if there will be a burst bubble, but I think there will be a new meta when it comes to gaming YouTube. Because remember, back in the day, it was everybody had a Let's Play channel, where everybody did like a post commentary or something of the sorts like that. Now we're in the video essay, meta right now. So everybody's doing like their Thor high, like, I've seen a lot more Thor High Hill like we talked about before, Thor High Hill clones of people being like, I'm just going to talk about aesthetics and vibes and environments and stuff like that. Whereas, and then you'll have the people that psychoanalyze everything.
I am getting really tired of the Thor High Heels videos where it's like someone just talking about, it's basically what we do, you know, where we just talk about how special a game is to us. but I hate clicking on a video and it's just like someone, this was my childhood game and I loved it and I just remember this, and I'm like, I don't care, dude. I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't really have any, like, I don't care that this was your favorite game. Like, it's just a nostalgia goggled fueled video.
And I think that's why I
don't know.
have pivoted more towards like making radio, is because one, I don't have shit to say no more. Like the only other video that I would probably make is like a video about Alundra, because that came out the same day that I was born. So I was thinking back in the day, I was like, Alundra 25 years later, and then talk more about my life and video gaming in general as like a vehicle through this. Yeah, with the discovery of Alundra. But I feel like with the videos that I did make for like Sondi Select, like that's like an anthology of my life as with gaming, with the pretense of MMOs and obscure games and rhythm games and stuff like that. Like you get a glimpse of me through those 3 videos if you watch them in order chronologically. Whereas like now it's like, okay, what do I talk about? Like I can do a generic review about a game or talk about it, but like everybody does that. There's a video like Blitz the Elite. Hold on, what's another game that we're playing this season, bro? I'm gonna look it up. X-Men Destiny, right?
Binary Domain, or
yeah, Binary Domain. Let me look it up. Binary Domain, bro.
Roses.
I guarantee you, there's gonna be like 4 video essays that I see, bro, on this stream, bro. I see it, bro.
Actually good.
Yeah, here's a 55-minute video essay, bro. Long play. And then another video essay. Like, 34 minutes. Like, I don't think Binary will make. But to be fair, that's probably what a lot of people think when they look at our videos, though. So I can't even lie. Like, they probably see the 2-hour-long mark and they go, I'm not watching 2 hours on fucking Brave Fencer Musashi. No.
I'm not watching an hour and a half on Blitz.
Yeah. But Whole T is a podcast, and it's like you can't put podcasts in it. I mean, could we put maybe?
I don't know. I really don't. I think I'm just like, and that's why like my own channel and like my videos I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to say? What do I want to present? It could just be that I watch too much YouTube to feel like I will add anything worthy aside from maybe like a visual flair, you know? And I don't want to be a part of the group of people that I'm criticizing by saying it's just like, what, like, who cares? Like, you have nothing, there's nothing informative here. I'm not walking away with your video with like, damn, like that was deep. Maybe I will try that game. You know, that's rare that I ever feel like, I mean,
this is
some of Thor High Heels early videos.
It did hit me. Like,
kind of made me feel that way.
That's what I was about to say about Thor. I was about to say that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really like, you know, watch him anymore. And there was a video that I saw of some guy talking about he was trying to like have a party in some. It was like an MMO game called There. Have you heard of this? It's called There, and it's from like 2003 or some shit, and like. There was only like 30 people online ever, but it was like a tight-knit community, and he joined them, and he gave himself 30 days to try and throw this party, and he was coordinating with them, and he ended up like playing, and they were just like stuck in that MMO, and they like, it was their space, you know, and it used to be vibrant, but like people moved on, and it was like a bunch of old people too, like talking, you know, I guess. It was very unique. It was like, it felt like he was saying something about the culture of MMOs from a bygone era, and he kind of like walked into it accidentally and came away with something. But these other videos are just like, there's no point to them. It's just like somebody rambling on about something.
The worst is when it's like a retrospective and it's just a dude like summarizing the story and like the game beat by beat, and it's like, bro, I could have just played the fucking game. I think there was one guy, he did a bunch of documentaries about VR chat and like people in VR chat and like the world of it and like all the different like ways that like people like communicate and talk, and he like interviewed people in VR chat talking about like how it like changed their life and stuff like that. Like I think those kind of videos are like needed.
Right.
I think those
Like there's a beginning and an end point, and it's informative, and so you kind of walk away with something. So it's rich. You
yeah.
know? And I
But
don't know. It gets me thinking
I
like,
think that's the way with like YouTube in general though, because like remember I was showing you like where I was like, bruh, if I scroll through my home feed and I get another person with the thumbnail in the middle and they're just staring at me with like some pop culture people and they're like something about anti-intellectualism or like something like I don't want to say like makes it, you know, not to sound like that guy, but like it's a lot of people in like the liberal space that
yeah,
just say the same shit in their videos and then it's like, okay, I get it. White supremacy, capitalism.
yeah.
Yeah, everything's fucked. I get it. Of course, I can fucking see.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
your video didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. You're just orating history that's already, but I guess to somebody it is. But to me, that's somebody that's informed. Right. You're not telling me anything new. You're not telling me anything interesting, and you're not saying it in a very interesting way, because just sitting there with a mic in your hand and talking to me and making a little joke every now and again, that isn't going to get the point across more than if I was to actually pick up a fucking textbook or watch the news. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the space that we're in with, and again, it could just be because, you know, watching 6 hours of YouTube gaming videos, and you're just like, damn, you know. And then no one has like an original thumbnail either. I'm just like, what is it? Just like all based to grab like the lowest common denominator's attention.
All like, thumbnail ideas have been taken, bro. There's no thumbnails that you can use at this point in life, bro.
Yeah, and I was even looking at Thor High Heels, and I'm like, these are so fucking ugly, but at least it's unique.
It's ugly in a cute way to where it makes me like actually click on it, because it's like that kind of looks frat. Like it's like that early like internet aesthetic of like Neo Cities and like Tumblr and shit that, where you're like, okay, I get the aesthetic you're going for.
Yeah, I feel like some of his are like really good, but other ones I'm like, they're so convoluted or busy, I guess, but they're better than the other shit that we're getting. Big red text, someone, you know, is, you know, like looking at the cover of fucking some game and, you know, fucking mad dogging it or something. Like it's like, dude, this is.
I'm scrolling through my YouTube feed as you say this, and I'm like, damn, you just described like every single one I'm scrolling through right now.
Yeah, like
the arrow pointing.
Shit, bro. Maybe it'll be like a renaissance where it's like, oh, people don't click on those videos anymore. You know, they look for more unique videos. But it's like algorithm too. Like the algorithm's fucked. This like, I don't like the fact that it's like I look at my recommended more than I do my own subscribers list. You know, it's like I get it, push new stuff to me, but like I also want to see what's going on with the people that I subscribe to. I feel like I'm subscribed to so many people, I don't even get to fucking see their own content. I have to like go looking for them.
Exactly.
You know? It's really strange, and I don't think it's good for I think it's good for YouTube because it drives people to keep searching for things, and it keeps people keep looking, you know? As opposed to if you just had your subscriber list, you'd probably be like, all right, you know, these two guys, I like their videos, and I'm done because I just watched like in the newest shit.
Yeah, this is a topic we'll talk about on another status check. But I was going to say about, I've had this theory for a long time that the internet needs to deglobalize in order to stabilize the rest of the world, because the ramifications of a globalized internet that we're seeing take place today in terms of misinformation, in terms of radicalization, in terms of people being disingenuous and grifting in order to make a quick buck. You know, internet celebrities and people being content creators and stuff like that. I feel influencers. I feel like there comes a time and a point where we have to step back and assess what has happened. And I don't know, like, I believe personally that the way to combat this is to fracture instead of being back in homogenized spots. Like, it's either what you're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, those 5 sites can't be all the internet. You know what I mean? Like, we need the auto mechanic freaks to be on auto mechanic forums. We need the anime freaks on their anime forums. We need we need everybody on their own little website so that they can go, oh, I like this niche. I like stick figure fights. I'm going to stickpage.com. I like Naruto, so I'm going to narutocentral.com. I like like the fact that I can name these websites and they haven't existed for like 15 plus years is like mind-boggling. You know what I mean? Like, we need places where people can go, like, I'm going to this site for this particular thing. And the fact that I go on YouTube and just even right now, like when I was scrolling through my feed to look at fucking thumbnails, I'm seeing like how to get your lawn to grow better, or here's what's going on in Israel, and this is what's going on with the Pope, and this gaming video about this bullshit game you don't give a fuck about, you know? Yeah. I'm just seeing all this shit, and it's like, I don't think all this should be in one area. And I think that's what's fucking up a lot of people, is because everything's globalized, everybody thinks that this is the world. And there's a very funny video that I'm gonna send to you to put in here and post. But the internet was invented to show you how many idiots is around us. Look at this. Look at this. There's so many idiots around.
It's and it's easy to get jaded about the whole thing, you know, and especially frustrating for our own content, where, you know, I feel like we put a lot into it, and I know like it's already niche, but we don't, you know, we don't do the numbers that a 5-year channel should maybe do, you know, like, so it's easy to see like newcomers start doing like the lowest, the fucking, what is it?
The easiest thing you could possibly do, and then
bottom of the barrel content, and then they were just like, oh sweet, they have 50K subscribers and they have 1 million views on one video, and it's just like, wow, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We gotta just do that, bro. Fuck it. I'm gonna make a video where I'm gonna be like,
just do a tier list.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like obscure. I'm gonna do something crazy, like, you know, obscure games that look cool as hell, and it's gonna be a 4-hour long video of me just like yapping about random ass games, and people are gonna eat that shit up and be like, yeah, I love Pilot Down.
Well, I guess that's it. We're officially status checked.
Oh, you're not doing the back-to-back with me? My fault.
No, dude.
Wait, that's not even gonna work. We're gonna be above each other. Fuck.
That's true. That's true. Damn, what time is it at? It's like 10.
Yeah, it's like 10:30.
10:12.
I gotta take this little look out.
We always go so long with these. I'm always like, like it'll be quick, and they always fucking go so long because we be yapping.
That's what I'm saying.
We're part of the problem.
That's why I told her when she was like, yeah, they're all going to come over. I'm like, yeah, they're going to come over, and I'm going to be sick as fuck because I'm going to be recording a podcast the whole time they're here, and then they're going to leave, and I'm going to be like, damn, I didn't see my friends because I was too busy recording a podcast. It's not my fucking fault you decided to come when I was recording a podcast.
Well, you were hanging out with your other friend. That's what status check is.
Exactly,
so it's
bro.
All good.
Priorities. I've already scheduled this friend time, bro. Can't take it.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't take it. By the way, are you guys still planning on coming down in September?
Yeah, that's the plan. Just gotta, you know, stack. Cause May, I gotta go up for a funeral. Then I gotta go down for a baby shower. Then I gotta go up for a wedding.
Damn.
I'm hip, bro. Fuck me, right? And then Devin's going up Friday. She's going up to DC Friday. So she's gonna be up there all weekend. And then after that, I gotta recoup my fucking money But yeah, hopefully September.
6.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I gotta get blinds, bro. I have no blinds, bro. I want to walk around my house butt ass naked, bro. I need blinds.
Well, you have to let us know in advance because we have, so we can just plan for it.
Yeah,
So
of course.
like,
I'll let
the
you know
dates
when I
take
like
off and all that.
start planning a definitive date and all that stuff. If not September, October.
Me and Elise have this running joke of making you a Sonic gift basket, a Sonic welcome gift basket. And it's anytime we see anything Sonic related, which is often these days.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how much you see Sonic shit, bro. I see it all the time, and I do the same thing where I'm like,
let me
not cop it.
Mugs, t-shirts, keychains, plates,
Plushies.
Plushies. We always joke about it. I'm like, oh look, a Sondi pajama set. You know, a Sonic pajama set. This is perfect for him. I think we are gonna do it, but we're not gonna do it if you don't come. So, but it's gonna be a just fucking blue basket, a bunch of Sonic shit in it.
Long as there's some Knuckles shit in there, I'll be okay. Knuckles is my nigga, bro.
Knuckles is a little rare to find out in the wild. I feel like it's usually just
Sonic Shadow
and the gang. Yeah, but it's usually like retro Sonic stuff, and it's just like Sonic and maybe his friends. But it's rare that I see just like a Knuckles t-shirt or like a Knuckles mug. It's usually just Sonic. So we'll try. What's the bat's name? The woman bat? Rouge?
Yeah. Rude, she's sexy as ooh. I was trying to quote Wild Canyon. I gotta chase a bat.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here because it's getting late. We both have jobs and work to do and sleep to catch and all that. So thanks for watching. Comment if you've fuck with anything we said. I guess I don't even know. It's almost 3 hours.
I don't even remember what I said 2 minutes ago.
No clue. Couldn't even defend. I love when people in our videos are commenting, and I'm like, "What did we say?" I wish they would timestamp. Yeah. What is the context? I'm always like, "What did we say?" Let me go back here. Oh, by the way, did Frames include you in a video? Is that what?
Yeah.
Post. Okay, I was so confused. I was like, because I couldn't. It just said the post. And then it had like the response, which was like,
I posted it because I was in the video.
Yeah. So I was like, where the fuck do I don't know what he's talking about.
What is this comment to?
Yeah. What was the video? Or what was it? The video?
Game of the year. It was everybody game of the year for last year. That's all.
What'd you pick?
Sorry, we're closed.
Didn't you play that this year?
Yeah, but I mean, it came out last year, so.
That's disgusting. That is despicable behavior. God, that is correct.
And besides, somebody else talked about Dragon's Dogma too. So like, I can't. I'm not about to talk.
That came out last year.
Yeah. Oh. See. Exactly.
That was like 2 years ago. God damn. I'm tripping. Oh, I'm so confused with time now. All right. Let's we'll end it here. I'll let you go. All right.
Ciao, y'all.
Peace. Yeah, don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff. Goodbye.